All right, welcome back to Finding Truth podcast here on Unscripted Truth TV. Another solo opener here from your boy Logan here, and everybody give Austin a second round of well wishes in the comments. Uh, Health took a turn. He's from what he's told me, he's gonna be just fine, and he's recovering. He just uh, definitely needs tonight and probably a couple more days just to get back to full strength, and he'll be back with us as soon as possible. But yeah, another show, Austinless. I know that disappoints probably 90% of our audience who probably watch mostly for him, but I'm I'm gonna do my best to make him proud. Uh, if you didn't catch last week's episode, we had a great one. King Rich stopped by and helped me co-host, and we also had our first-time guest, Sebastian, otherwise known as Spam Wave, and had a pretty interesting back and forth. He had a presentation of sorts, and we had a lot to say about it. We covered quite a few topics. Of course, that was the Super Bowl as well. But yeah, if you haven't checked that out, check it out. I did put out of course, this is not live, but I did put out a little short video. Check that out. Give it some love. Just if you weren't able to catch all of last week's episode, it's a little tidbit from that episode that was quite funny and worth making a little video about. But yeah, without further ado, I have no one else to pass it to but myself here. So a little self-assist, and we'll just peruse the headlines, and we will have a couple people joining us tonight if all goes to plan as well. So, in fact, give me just a hot second before I peruse the news. Make sure I get these invites sent, because I have forgotten that before. And I don't want to be looking like a dummy. Okay. Hurry up. Okay. Sent off. Alrighty. Well, so there's a couple of things I wanted to touch on. Of course, we did have the Daytona 500, so we might as well start there, especially people who have, come to know our channel for our predictions, but at least for our coverage of the NASCAR races. We are back in full swing as far as the season goes. Unfortunately, I hadn't had much time to look into this race, nor especially as far as the prediction goes. I had a couple of things that I looked into, had a couple feelers out there just between me and Austin and through text. But yeah, definitely didn't predict the outcome of this race or see it coming, or really have any kind of concrete ideas as far as where this race was going. Had a couple ideas, but that is where you guys in the community can come through and help. I know Illegal Smile, I know he has been looking into it. I'm hoping to get him on as a guest again to talk NASCAR, as this is the beginning of the season. So hopefully that's coming in the future as well. And whoever else wants to come on and talk NASCAR or anything else, obviously. But as far as NASCAR goes, we can take a quick peek. Of course, we had a surprise winner. Reddick, the only person without a win last year in the last format, the winning in format. Of course, he didn't. I think he made it to the second round of the playoffs last year, but yeah, no races won yet. He made the playoffs. He was kind of like a black swan as far as that goes, but he scratched that ticket early this year. Of course, it's a different format now, so it's not winning in, and now he gets his win. So we'll see where this gets him. I did want to point out a couple of things. I wasn't able to watch the race, nor have I seen the highlights yet, but I do know a couple other things that happened like around the mid race. I know that our boy SVG was running a hell of a race. He was running a hell of a race. I think he stay in the halfway point. He was leading. Excuse me. So he's look out for him to potentially get a win on an oval this year. They're kind of like poking at that idea. But as far as the race goes, there is a couple of things that I peeked in on and had like a feeler out for. One interesting thing is this was the 68th Daytona 500, and the winner. So this is just like kind of like pathing with numbers. This isn't any specific reason why I thought this. I was just curious, really, and I came upon something that probably will have implications with this particular driver in the future, or probably already has. I just don't like. I'm not the one that knows all the history of the NASCAR races. All that's kind of like coming to me through Austin, and now Illegal Smile. He's given a lot of heads up about that, about the the past of NASCAR. He's a encyclopedia, it seems. But the 68th, or who won the Daytona 500 in 1968. We want to let me just pull this up real here. 1968. Oops, not 500. That would be Cale Yarborough. No, I've actually heard this name. It's weird how many names I've heard that I didn't attribute to anything, but I had heard this name before. So he must have been a pretty famous race driver. Well, interestingly enough, actually, I didn't look at what. No, it looks like he was driving the 21, which is also interesting. And anybody's interested about Josh Berry, but anyway. So I just looked up, who won in 1968, as this is the 68th Daytona 500. Interestingly enough, if you look at Cale Yarborough, let's just look up. Just something to pay attention to potentially is that he died on, if you see here, you can see here December 31st. He died on Ryan Blaney's birthday. So a few years back, it was Ryan Blaney's birthday when he died. So interesting date, of course, being the New Year's Eve birthday is always a weird, holiday dates are always interesting, especially with the people on the world stage. Always kind of like highlights, probably part of a ritual, part of something that we, don't think about in this day and age anymore. But let's just say the 13 families still probably pay attention to, for all you guys that want to talk high conspiracy stuff like that, which I'm completely down to. But yeah, so just interestingly enough, just by accident kind of came across something to pay attention to. So if we know more about Cale Yarborough, which I'm sure Austin does, which I'm sure Illegal Smile does, we might be able to catch a trend with Ryan Blaney, and maybe even realize why he didn't win it last year. Maybe it had to do with Cale Yarborough as well. So interesting, just an interesting little tidbit is all I came away with that. But if we take a look, we can do a little bit of a quick look into it. I have a couple of guests coming on here soon, so I don't want to get too far into it. I do want to touch a couple more stories before that happens. But yeah, as far as Tyler Reddick winning, one interesting thing to note is that, of course, this is coming off of Denny Hamlin's father dying. It's all been about that. It's been about Greg Biffle and Denny Hamlin's father dying in a fire on Black Snake Road, and all sorts of crazy things we've touched on the channel. Gone over multiple angles about it. Interestingly enough, you have a 23XI winner come right out of the gates and pick up the first win in the Daytona. And if you think, remember, this is also coming off of Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin's lawsuit with NASCAR, which they did reach a settlement. Also, Trackhouse, was involved in the lawsuit as well. I think there was a couple others too, but the main people, you know, in a lawsuit with NASCAR was 23XI and Trackhouse, and so they settled. There's some sort of change coming to the way that teams are able to get drivers in as like almost like a legacy status. With that, it's convoluted. We've talked about it a couple of times. There is an explanation of what it means on the channel, but if you guys want to look up what the NASCAR lawsuit was about, by all means do. But just interesting that you had number 45 finish it. Of course, 45 is definitely associated with ritual. We've talked about this a lot. Calculator's not even pulled up. But we can peek into what maybe gave Tyler Reddick the edge here, just for a point of reference there. 45 ritual. Of course, he drives the 45. Yeah, so let's take a little peek in here. One thing I am working on in the background, I just started it. This is something I should have had done in the off season, but I just never got around to starting it, and then I finally did. I am working on a spreadsheet on all the owners, the team owners, their birthdays. Probably going to have their like state of birth or something of that matter. Something like that potentially, and then of course all the drivers and their birthdays and their state of births and things of that name, just so we were able to cross-reference them on one in one spot, because that's something that me and Austin talked about needing. And so I am working on that. I've already gotten through all the owners and co-owners, and I'm going to start doing the drivers when I get the next chance. But yeah, look out for that. I'll try to make that public, and how it'll just be a Google sheet, so it should be easy enough to make public and share and link and all that kind of stuff. So just know I'm working on that in the background. But anyway, until then, I don't have that, so I will have to be looking at these guys one by one. So we do have Mr. 111. So from his last birthday, just a month ago, just 35 days ago. Interesting. About to his next birthday, 330 days. That's interesting as well. A nice little juicy 33 to start the year. Let's take a look. Man, Tyler George Reddick. Let's just go with his slave name. It's got the 62, which I think we found interesting, as in, is that in Michael Jordan? But yeah, speaking of 33s, Michael, of course, equals 33, his owner, Michael Jordan. Or is it just Jordan is 62? Yeah, Jordan itself is 62. So he's got the 62 in his name. No wonder he drives for Jordan there. I think these are things that we've probably already touched on. There could even be something to do with Valentine's Day being a very Catholic holiday, just being the day before as well. And that could have been something that played into it. One thing that Austin brought up to me, let's take a look at this. Kurt Russell drove the pace car. I tried to look it up. In fact, I looked up like opening ceremony for NASCAR, and it said nothing about Kurt Russell. It gave me that, you know, I think like an American Idol winner lady did the national anthem and something like that. But absolutely, Kurt Russell did the 68 Daytona 500. So let's take a look at Kurt Russell. He's 74 years old. Interesting. It's our 74th episode. It seems like there's always a weird sync. Just looking into things that match up with our episode number. Let's start with this slave name. Russell. 41. Kurt Vogel Russell. Ooh. Kurt Russell's a name I had not heard of in quite some time. Full name has the 66. 237 is interesting. I can't remember what. Helps to have two minds come together on this. I know Austin has a database of numbers, and I have them. When we're together, we rarely miss too much that we're looking up, but sometimes I do draw a blank. Of course, interestingly enough, Kurt Busch was inducted into the Hall of Fame, so you got Kurt Russell now doing the pace car, so that's interesting. Well, yeah, that's right. What's his birthday? March 17th. So that's a month after Jordan's birthday. March 17th. So it's just oh yeah, speaking of, Jordan's birthday is in 2 days. So wow, he got an early birthday present. That was probably something worth looking at as well. You know, what's the best, present for a actor Mason on the world stage as big as Michael Jordan? Probably, his team winning the first race of the year. So yeah, that's something to clock as well. So 30, just straight across 30 days, of course, with February only having 28 days. Yeah. Birthday's on the 76th day of the year. And did it not say 74? Well, he should luck out when he's 76. Okay. Now, what are his credits? I've only seen a couple movies with this guy. I know it was Overboard. This is one of the ones that, like, I went and I go, oh, Tombstone's interesting, with Val Kilmer dying last year, so that's interesting. Let's still take a look here. Oh yeah, Big Trouble in Little China. That's one of the ones he's famous for. Bone Tomahawk. Of course, he's been doing the Marvel movies, so I didn't know that. Yeah, Overboard's a classic. Yeah, I don't know if someone has any connections as to why he was even the pace car driver. I'm curious to know. It might have nothing to do with anything. It's just that, last year it was Trump, and that definitely has something to do with it. So curious for sure. But yeah, Tyler Reddick off the schneid early. So he, as far as I know, he should be points leader after a win, and he is, yes. So then let's take a quick look and see where some of the big boys finished. Jimmy Johnson, last fourth of the pack. Silich had a pretty awful race. Interestingly, he finished in 33rd. Yeah, he was a non-factor as far as I could tell. Blaney was leading quite a lot of the second half of the race until some stuff happened, which maybe Austin can talk about next week, because I think he was able to see it. But yeah, he was telling me about it, but I'm not 100% without looking into it. But yeah, it looked like Denny Hamlin was in the middle of another script writing session live on the court, on the track. So as we've said, Denny Hamlin's one of those guys that's just we've kind of pegged him as one of the guys who keeps the script going live on the track. So like he's always there to make sure the outcome happens. And last year there were so many things. Interestingly enough, Bubba Wallace was actually leading like most of the second half of the race. How'd he finish? I think he was in top 10. Yeah, just eked into the top 10. Yeah, so interesting start to the season, that's for sure. But yeah, 23XI gets a win right off the bat, and that can be a two-way win. Denny Hamlin, he gets a member of his team won. Obviously, he had a pretty big ritual in the off season with his father's passing, supposedly, and it's just been nonstop. It hasn't stopped talking about. More information keeps coming out about it, and they're not letting that one it's definitely going to be something that carries through the majority of this NASCAR season. Just very similar to Kyle Larson's agent's death, John Edwards, last year, and obviously you saw where that led Kyle Larson. So something to think about, that's for sure. But yeah, without having dived too far into this NASCAR race, I am kind of just out here without any floaties, grasping at some straws, and I don't want to dilute the pool too much because we do plan on getting into it and doing our due diligence every week, hopefully by this time next week. So, and I know that there are people in the community that do, and they leave great comments. So I'm hoping that maybe you guys can fill in some gaps in the comment section and potentially come on next week or some other time, and we can go over some of these races and talk shop. But yeah, let's second little, actually really quickly, I can do this in the background. Let me make sure I get a secondary invite sent out. But yeah, I don't know if anyone caught this. Seattle's been in the news. I was just talking about NASCAR. Of course, we've had Seattle/Washington has been in the news. Of course, we had the Seahawks win the Super Bowl last week, and then of course the very next week they talk about reopening Kurt Cobain's suicide ruling, and they say that independent forensic teams have found that it was a homicide, and that people, if you guys are new to the channel, we are very early on. We talked about a lot of different things, but like I would say that I think our first 2-3 episodes were heavy on Nirvana, and we've talked about him since plenty as well. But we've pretty much gone through a lot of the details of this and kind of picked it apart, because you'll have people coming at this from a very reality based frame of mind. And when I say reality, I mean they take the word of the authorities for it and then they kind of work it backwards. What's nice about being in the position me and Austin are in is we already know it's bullshit, so we can look at it from that frame of mind. And now it's just about seeing what's the ritual, what was the determining factor for what they're doing with this guy, whether or not he's even dead or this and that. That's all up for debate as well. But we've covered the people that made out best from this ruling or at least from him exiting stage left, especially joining the 27 club, as he's famous for doing. Hold on. And I called him, he's like the white Tupac in my opinion, or you could say Tupac's the black Cobain, but I think the white Tupac makes the most sense. It's just genre defining, and then he goes super young, as they tend to do with people they want to. And of course, Kurt Cobain is, if his body's dead, he sure isn't. They have kept him alive the same way they kept Tupac alive. If they are in fact dead, they have kept that figure, that what's the word? What they've kept that not idea, but not concept. Damn, blanking on what I wanted to say there. But anyway, yeah, they've kept his like spirit alive, his teen spirit. I guess you still smell it, but yeah. If you, I guess I can quickly go over this. Is a pretty short article, but let me make it a little bigger. It's just unfortunate this stupid New York Post is just ads, Epstein files, ads, Epstein files. Good luck looking at for anything. I go on to watch a kid show pull on a kid show for your kids, which is stupid enough as it is, but good luck trying to avoid the Epstein files. It's probably in your kids shows too, probably Blue's Clues. And what do we have here? Where's the clue? It's on page 88 of the Epstein files. Great job, Blue. Anyway, a team of independent forensic scientists are calling for a fresh investigation into the death of Kurt Cobain after an exhaustive look at the late rocker's autopsy led them to believe one or more individuals may have been involved in his death. Oh, really? Maybe not the guys who were like in the room posing with his corpse and like smiling? Probably not. I mean, whether or not it's his corpse is for debate 100%. I just, keep in mind that that's where my position is. So anytime I say things, it doesn't mean I'm saying them matter of factly, and that's what I truly believe. It's just, I guess, kind of making light of it. Cobain's 1994 death, which came at the zenith of the 1990s Seattle grunge scene, what do you know, shook the music world to its core. The King County Medical Examiner's Office ruled at the time that the 27-year-old Nirvana frontman's death was the result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And he just kept his hospital tags on, and wrote 2 different notes. Anyway, but the forensic team, which included independent researcher Michelle Wilkins and specialist Brian Burnett, I have to look into these people, recently spent 3 days examining the death and concluded, okay, how do I get this off my screen? In a peer-reviewed document that the death was a homicide, according to Complex. The team's allegations touch upon well-worn theories about the manner of Cobain's death that haven't sat right with fans in over 30 years. You mean 4 over 30 years? Yeah, this is okay. AI articles. Here we go. Sebastian would love this, including that he was forced to take a massive dose of heroin before he was shot, and that his 2 suicide notes use different handwriting styles. Who doesn't write 2 different ways, 2 different handwriting styles? It's just fun. Despite the team's findings, the medical examiner's office said in a statement that the results of their initial autopsy ruling still stand. Epstein. King County Medical Examiner. King County Medical Examiner's Office worked with the local law enforcement agency, conducted a full autopsy, and followed all of its procedures in coming to the determination of the manner of death as a suicide, the statement read. However, the agency left the door open a crack to reinvestigate the case if new evidence comes to light. However, they say they've seen nothing to date that would warrant reopening of this case in our previous determination of death. A month before his death, Cobain was hospitalized in Rome, where all roads lead, after overdosing on a combination of rohypnol, which we've looked into, and champagne, which his then spouse, Courtney Love, claimed was a suicide attempt. The troubled singer's struggles with depression and drug addiction were well documented and continued accelerating until his tragic passing. Cobain's death at the age of 27 placed him in the so-called 27 Club of legendary artists and performers who died at the same age under circumstances involving substance abuse or mental health struggles. Other members of the club include Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Brian Jones, and Amy Winehouse. But I even have a thumbnail, I think, that kind of uses all of their images. So if you look into our past videos, that would be an indicator there. But yeah, something just to look into. I was kind of hoping that there would be more about this in the news, or at least compiled to this point. Unfortunately, there isn't. So not exactly 100 about, just making sure those invites went out. Okay, they did. Whether or not it'll make a a full topic on the show. But I mean, we'll see next week if Austin wants to get into it or what he might have to say about it, because this is just kind of another check in the long checklist of Seattle/Washington stories that have been plaguing the Pacific Northwest for what seems like months now. Of course, you have the pre-Super Bowl rituals, Greg Biffle. You have the post-Super Bowl rituals, and now they're keeping us in the. I say us because I live in Washington, but yeah, they're keeping the Washington definitely in the news, and bringing up Cobain after all this time too it's just rather strange, but it is kind of like a staple of our channel, so I couldn't just pass up on it. So we'll see where this goes. We'll see if new things come out as they like to. I would assume that they would, either that or this is kind of like a one-off thing that they're using, or this could be them reopening the door so that they can talk about new stuff. It's interesting once you pay attention to kind of how they do things. They always there's always like a prelude to like a story becoming bigger. They like to get a little story in at first to kind of give credence to the new one or to the bigger one. But anyway, that's about all I had for that. Now, another interesting thing brought up to me by Dale in the comment section, you've probably seen him, but shout out to Dale, is the solar eclipse. And interestingly enough, we were talking about 23XI and Mr. Jordan. And how he picked up the big win. Well, he's got that February 17th birthday, and that's the day slated for the Ring of Fire eclipse, which is Ring of Fire is where I believe it's like you just see the corona past the. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the moon covers the center of the sun, leaving a bright ring. Yeah, the corona. Okay, so once again, another corona ritual. But yeah, slated for February 17th, Michael Jordan's birthday. Of course, his team picks up a big win. So yeah, 2 days from now over Antarctica, there will be a Ring of Fire eclipse. So interesting. And the full total solar eclipse slated for August 12th. Interesting date as well. 7 a.m. and India doesn't get to see it. Oh no. Anyway. So yeah, I think that's potentially. I mean, just look at that the way that lines up too for Michael Jordan. Happy birthday! Gets a nice win. Gets a solar eclipse. A Ring of Fire. Of course, he has several rings. He got 6 rings? I'm sure that there's a joke to be made. So yeah, let me really quickly check my email, make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, cool. One thing I planned on looking into, but I must be lost in my emails, was a comment left by Dale as well, but I'll kind of leave that for, I guess, when I can find the email that's associated with. Fortunately, I wasn't able to find it. Just know I looked, Dale. I'm sorry I couldn't find it, but he'll probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, as far as what else is in the news, that I'm not 100% on. Let's see. Let's go. Let's start with CNN. Let's do it. Let's plunge right in. Everybody loves CNN. Shit, whatever. Oh yeah, Savannah Guthrie. This whole story just will not stop. Uh, Not even sure exactly what it's about. It's just another one in the long line of national stories that are made. Think the Gabby Petitos. Think, they love doing this story, and she might not be a looker or anything like that. Um, but just the white blonde effect. They love using white blondes in the news when it comes to like tragic stories. So something to think about. Um, but yeah, this is just it's so hard to like care about these like drawn out stories that before you know it, there'll be an end to it, and then nobody will remember it the next day. It's so crazy. Um, you can look at some prominent people in the Epstein files, probably editors at CNN, but whatever. The Department of Justice on Saturday sent Congress a list of politically exposed persons. Okay, and the millions of files released related to its probes into convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Guys, I want you to think about this too. What do you think warrants millions of files? What kind of investigations or what kind of like information gathering reports do you think warrant millions of files to scour through? I doubt that many. I really doubt that many reach a million files. I let me stress to you guys how many a million is. Um, Quite a lot. If you think about, I guess it doesn't say how large each file is, but it's just one of those vague things. It's almost to me it sounds like 93 million or 150 billion years or 93 million miles away. It's just one of those terms they like to use that just makes things way too large to even try to wrap your head around. So you don't, because it gives you this too big of a mountain to even climb type of basis for the story. And then what you'll end up doing is you'll trust them to fill you in on the cliff notes, and that's where they get you, because as soon as you trust them to fill you in on the cliff notes, that's where they're able to slip their propaganda in, and that's all people hear about. And that's really unfortunately that's the way modern news has, not just modern as far as like since its inception, how it works. Anyway, the 6-page letter, a copy of which was obtained by CNN, includes the names of many prominent figures who appear in the files, regardless of the context, and does not specify the degree to which people were linked to or that's the other thing, that they're releasing this all as just like any name mentioned. So it's like it can be like a father of a teen who found out about Epstein's involvement, launched investigations through the police department to try to stop him, but all that context won't be there. It'll just be like Dan Williams. Oh, and all of Dan Williams' friends are like, "Oh my God, Dan Williams is in the report. Dan Williams is a creep." It's like, no, my name's in there, but not for that reason. But yeah, it's in the same vein. It's just, first of all, you have all these millions, and why can't they give the context? Why do they leave all of these things up to us? And I'll tell you why. I know why they do, but you guys should think about, why do they leave all this information gathering up to us? Well, A, it's fabricated. I think a lot of it is fabricated. I'm not saying there is no truth to this whole thing. What I think it is, as I've said many a time, is these over the top stories you get from the news. These are romanticizations. I know, like romantic. Well, it's just as far as the term goes, it is a, kind of like how aliens are just green dudes. So, the day that any kind of separate life form from us, not saying they come from space, but anytime if that were to happen, we would be so enamored and so bewitched and bedazzled by the idea of aliens or whatever it may be, that I wouldn't be surprised if we just attribute everything to, any type of separate life form to being in it. Anyway, point being is these kind of stories, they're able to get in your head and burrow in there, and it'll be the source that you draw upon when the final verdict happens. You will draw upon these stories, and you'll treat all these things that they've said along the way as fact. And if you go looking into it yourself, like I said, they make it mostly impossible. It's all just like black. First of all, you wonder why black ink costs so much. Maybe it's because they got millions of files where it's just literally just black ink across the page. It's all the redactions driving up the cost of black ink for us. Anyway, basically, it presents something that it's large enough to where you would give it credence. You'd say it has to be true, or things have to be true about it, because look at the scale of it. Well, let me tell you, the scale of things does not necessarily lend to that thing being true. You can look at dinosaurs. You can look at the world's fairs. You can look at the pyramids. You can look at all sorts of things in history where the scale is there to awe you and bedazzle you and not make you question A, B, C, D, E, F. They got you at T. You're not even thinking about S and S to A. That's a weird thing to say. But anyway, like S through A is what I mean. Yeah, they got you way down the line thinking about to where you won't even question where, the original thing you should be questioning. And that's what I think these larger than life stories tend to do. Now, what I have said on the podcast many times, though, is that the reality, so the romanticization is that there's, Pizzagate and all these things. And I'm not saying none of these things has truth to it. I'm just giving you my take on it, is that at the same time, it gives you this larger than life scale operation that is preying upon the weakest in our society, the children. It's also making you feel like there's people on it. It's like, yeah, the wet work, the guys behind the scenes, the white hats or whatever they're called. They're looking into it. They're going to stop it. They're going to get them. They're they give you the movies about it too, where it's just, they're busting the freight ships full, with shipping containers full of kids. They're always getting, they're getting to the bottom of it. They're looking into it and they find them and they're busting it. It's like, no. The real operations are protected by the law enforcement. The real operations are, right under our noses. And this isn't to drive fear. This is to drive awareness that, look into state parks, look into amusement parks, look into the places that kids go missing from most. And you'll find that there's a network involved, and there's stages to it. And once they get past a certain stage, it's GG's. And of course, they do it in those stupid shows to just scare middle-aged women that watch them. It's just like within the first 5 hours, if you haven't, if you can't find the missing person within the first 6 hours, the likelihood of them being found is 0.02%. So it just drives this defeatist mentality as well. For anybody that has that happen to them, somebody be kidnapped or go missing or whatever. But anyway, like I said, these things are happening, but it's not happening the way that they are reporting it. the people who are reporting it are the people who are doing it. Sorry to say. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious to most people. I think people would understand that, but there is a local level to it. We are the feeders. Us down here, just the regular people, we're the feeders. And who knows? Maybe with cloning, they won't need to steal so many of actual people's kids anymore. But that's a whole nother moral issue in itself. But yeah, it's this isn't the easiest topic to talk about, and I can only imagine because my life would be over. As far as what I mean, my life would be over if something like that happened to me. Is I would devote my life. My life would no longer be about anything to do with me, or it would be rampage. It would not be pretty. It wouldn't be pretty. And yeah, but that also plays into the now, and these parents need to be more vigilant. Look at where they got us. They got their kids sitting on iPads alone at the park. I go play basketball with my kiddo at the park, and it's just like you see how kids interact, or parents interact with their kids at the park. They take them to the park, and then they just sit on a bench looking straight down at their phone. Like they're not even paying attention to their kids. Their kids are, there's other parents on the playground, there's other kids on the playground. They're not even paying a single iota of attention. They're just sitting, just staring into their phones. And that's, sometimes even the kids are doing just the same thing at the park. They're just like on the play structure, sitting on their phone. You just look where they got us. It's just like, it's just no wonder. It doesn't take much nowadays to perceive. For me, I don't think it would be hard at all. And that's not to say that that's not to say I would ever do it, obviously, but it drives my protective nature, or with my kids. When I'm at the park with my kids, I'm at the park with my kids. I'm not sitting on my phone looking up every 5 minutes and seeing if my kid's still there. What kind of mentality is that? But yeah, it's like I said, it's I think a lot of this stuff is just presenting something that's larger than life so that you don't look into it yourself. And even if you do look into it, what you're going to find is, like I said, point T to Z, and you're not going to have A to S. You're not going to have all those base details that would give you a larger picture from the beginning, and a better framework for what these psyops, because that's what they are, what they are and what they're there to do. They're there to lure you into a false sense of security. They're to keep you on your back foot. They don't want us being secure. They don't want us feeling, I mean, in a way, they want us feeling secure, but they don't want us being secure. They want you to feel secure without being secure. And that's what all this, fake policing is too, leading into the new AI policing, the surveillance state, surveillance as a safety measure, when really what that surveillance is there to do is to keep us all in check. It's not there to make sure that we don't get hurt. It's there to hurt us. And people just can't see the writing on the wall. And no matter how many sci-fi movies they watch about the topic, they just keep thinking that movies are movies and that's all they are, when in reality, just like they've always said, what is it? Life. What's the terminology? Art. Whatever the fuck. Whatever that terminology is. Art. Something's life. Either way, the movies are about an eventuality. Even old cartoons are there to spur on an eventuality. And just look at The Simpsons. But anyway, droned on about this enough. We do have our first guest with us. We will have a co-host here within the hour, but until then, I do have Sebastian with us. Spam Wave.
Hey man, what's up?
Not much. I was just talking about just a little stupid CNN article about the Epstein files. It's spilled into from that Savannah Guthrie disappearance, that whole stupid thing that's playing. Oh, what do you know? Rich showed up early. Okay, here we go.
What's up, y'all? My bad.
Hey man, what's up?
Hey, no worries. Hey, I wasn't expecting you for another half hour. This is great.
Yeah, my bad, bro. I got
Hey, you're
started late
fine.
on dinner, pretty late.
Hey, no worries, dude. I had a little preamble. We had the NASCAR race. I didn't do much looking into it,
Yeah.
but I did talk about it early on, so that's out of the way.
Hey, did you hear
Hey.
about that death too? About the I forget the guy's name. He died at 58.
Yes, the former Patriot, right?
Yeah.
I had a great comment somebody left. So shout out to you. I don't have your name pulled up, but there was a great comment
Yeah,
on.
I seen somebody left a comment about that. And I was like, man, isn't it the Daytona 500 day too?
Yes, sir.
Look at that, man. And wasn't he a Daytona 500? He was in the Daytona 500 as well.
He was in a racing group. Yes. Let's see.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how they do this stuff, and I don't know, people don't catch on to it. It's crazy, but well, I mean, it's just obvious.
You're absolutely right.
Here's another thing I wanted to ask.
Michael Proctor.
Is his name Michael Proctor? Proctor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Michael Proctor. There you go. But I have a question, man. And see, here's the thing, man. When these people die, right? I tend to think that some of these guys are faking their deaths, but then again, I have a tendency to think that maybe these people are really dying. What's your take on that? I'm curious to hear about what your take on that is.
Well, me and Austin. Oh, go ahead, Sebastian. I'll
Yeah, go ahead,
up.
Sebastian. Go first.
Yeah, I think that they're faking their death. In the Epstein files, it came out that that one of the guards saw that they switched his body with a fake, and it came out that it was confirmed that he did work at the hospital, and you know the time that the journalist that picture of that picture of Epstein's body. If you look at that picture, like that's not him. Like you look at the nose, his nose is totally different. It's not the same person. So it's and also the guy that took that picture is a government photographer. And he works for the government, and he was there like 3 minutes after he died or something like that, which it's like, how would you, like, he got there so fast it was impossible.
That's highly suspicious. Yeah. That's highly suspicious right there. It's just like with Charlie Kirk and Kobe Bryant, man. They're in unmarked graves. No doubt about it. Those guys are still kicking and alive somewhere, laughing and smirking somewhere. But I don't know, man. Like these other deaths too, like just like these other deaths that are in the headlines, like just Nipsey Hussle or whatnot. I do think Nipsey Hussle's death was a hoax. I think the man's still alive somewhere. But these other rappers like Lil Mister and all these other rappers, right? These King Vons and whatnot. I do think they're dead. They're not faking their death and whatnot.
I think that those are sacrifices. I think that they sacrifice them. It's a ritual.
Yeah, right.
Well, what do you guys think about the idea of sacrificing your character, and that you have a different role to play on the stage, so they sacrifice your character? My personal belief comes from the idea that there's a mole civilization in this world. I truly believe that Fallout is a documentary, and it is explaining that there's, and you're given glimpses. I don't know if you guys know this, but like half the museums are underground in vaults, like
the Vatican vault is another one of them. Yep.
Guess what? The CIA is also in the Vatican vault. They have like
I'm talking massive.
Yeah, he's talking about
massive
underground systems.
You know the Smithsonian has over a billion items in their archive.
That is worth a show. We need to do a Smithsonian show for sure, because they got their fingerprints from the beginning of print of modern,
They got their fingerprints on
newspaper.
pretty much everything. They got their fingerprints on pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And the trusts that have been involved, the Smithsonian, of course, always good to go in and look into. I've done quite a bit of digging on that. I won't expound too far into it right now, but yeah, it is a ever expanding topic, and they're always Johnny on the spot whenever anything major happens. And you have so many philanthropists that seem like their whole job is to just kind of buy up historical things and donate them to the Smithsonian, almost like their proxy.
Most of these celebrities that supposedly died too. A lot of their items are donated to the Smithsonian as well.
Absolutely. Speaking of, I was, in the preamble, I talked about the NASCAR race, but the secondary story I talked about, did you hear that there is a secondary investigation into Kurt Cobain's death, and they say
I heard about that. Yep, I heard.
They've ruled it a homicide, and they should reopen it.
It was right after the Super Bowl too of Seattle. I was about to think about that too. Just you have the Seattle native. I mean, come on, man! Like, it would be such a mockery if they would have said that, and they would have said, "Oh yeah, Chris Cobain's death was a homicide. He didn't really kill himself or off himself."
Well, it's just another example. I call him the white Tupac because of his like.
It's funny. It's funny because that one song, "Black Hole Sun," the one that they're most remembered for, that one's always on the radio, if not all the time. By the way, that equals 201 as well. Like Chris Cornell was born on the 201st day of the year. He died right before the eclipse, 2017.
Yeah, that Black Hole Sun Soundgarden. That's the Chris Cornell.
Oh, I'm tripping. Okay.
No, you're fine. Nirvana's like Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Nirvana. Yeah,
I'm sure you know. Yeah, I get him and Chris Cornell are extremely interlinked. Yeah, so like the ritual there is interlinked. It's just
it is. Yeah, it is connected. Yeah.
But yeah, Black Hole Sun is 201. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Black Hole Sun, 2 days from now is the eclipse as well. I just covered that, and that's Michael Jordan's birthday.
They're gonna do a big ritual for that.
It's the year of the horse. It's the year of the horse. It's going to start on his birthday. Yeah. Is he going to turn 63 this year? 63.
I just. Sounds right, because I think we were talking about how his name equals 62, and he was 62.
Jordan equals 62. Yeah, Michael Jordan equals 59. Remember the rituals they did when he was 59 years old?
Yeah, he'll be 63. He's born in 63. He'll be 63. Uh-oh.
You know what's crazy? Thinking about 63 right now. This upcoming year on November 22nd, it'll be the 63rd anniversary of John F. Kennedy's death. You already know they're going to do something big on that day on November 22nd this year.
But speaking of Michael Jordan and this solar eclipse, his team just won the Daytona 500. His driver won, and his birthday is in 2 days on the solar eclipse. It's called the Ring of Fire solar eclipse, and of course Jordan's known for his 6 rings. So rings, Jordan, eclipse on his birthday.
You got Kobe as well. I mean, it's not his birthday, but you think about Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. 23-8, right? 23-8. Kobe Bryant born on 23-8. Michael Jordan, 238.
Good point.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man, on the 17th. I know tomorrow's going to be the kill date. And one city that I have in mind, and a lot of tomorrow being the 216, right? Cleveland's a 216 area code.
Yep.
They could possibly do something in Akron, Cleveland. I don't know. Akron's where LeBron's from.
Mm-hmm.
Be perfect.
So, got the MJ appears to weirdly touch young kid at Daytona 500 award ceremony. So this is fresh off the press because this just happened. So let's take a peek here.
Oh yeah, I see it. I mean, come on,
bro.
Like, come on, man.
Bro.
Like, come on, bro.
Get off that kid.
Doing that? Like, what normal adults just going around behind the?
They're saying it's because he's wearing Jordan brand stuff.
With his big old shit-eating grin on his face.
Bro, what would even be the, how can they make, and he's got the Spider-Man shirt on, interesting.
There might be something to that because you already know they put that shit right in front of you, especially with all the stuff. You know,
Like,
that's probably
what is he doing, bro?
What the hell?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, whose kid is that?
That is weird.
It's your kid.
That's
Yeah.
not his kid.
And look at
That's
them all
someone
just
else. That's like some
drinking.
random kid.
You see, this is what I'm talking about.
That's
though.
probably
This is
some
rituals right in
Manchurian.
front of you.
Bro, that's probably some Manchurian right there. Don't be surprised you see that kid somewhere in the athletics. I wouldn't be surprised you see him in, I don't know, NASCAR when he grows up.
Man. Okay,
Yeah, Project
so I was
Monarch.
definitely expecting something that was vague. That was fucked up.
How long ago was that?
This is today. This is, like I said,
Wow.
this is his driver, Reddick, who won.
Reddick, huh?
Yeah.
Think about JJ Reddick, too.
That's a good point. That's a Reddick I was thinking of. Okay. JJ Reddick, you're
JJ
right.
Redick,
Lakers
yeah.
head coach.
Yeah, and you think about JJ Reddick, you think about Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant.
LeBron too.
LeBron too.
Go with that whole Akron thing. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I didn't even. That's something to think about.
When is JJ Reddick's birthday? I've never seen his. I actually never looked at his birthday. Actually, I should.
He's a Dookie, isn't he? Didn't he go to Duke?
And think about his name too, right? JJ Reddick.
Mm-hmm. Red Dick.
He's 41 years old right now too.
Yep.
King equals
all
41.
these sports guys all have like, it's all like Dick Butt Kiss or Jake Dick Butt and like, I mean,
Yeah.
Red Dick. I mean, come on.
June 24th.
Oh, he's born on modern Freemasonry's birthday.
Freemasonry's birthday, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like that option I was telling you guys about. That guy's born on modern Freemasonry's birthday. Total hoax. I think that guy's sitting somewhere chilling right now.
He's born in 84 as well. So that's just great.
Same year as LeBron, right? 84. Jonathan Clay Reddick. Yeah, that's something to think about. He played for the 76ers and now, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got that Kobe connection.
Quite a few teams. Yeah, 6 teams.
Played with the Magic as well.
Yep. He was a Dookie, little Blue Devil with a red.
He went to Duke, right? He went to Duke. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what? A lot of athletes come from Duke too. That's something to think about.
If you think about, I think they've kind of eclipsed, if you will, that story at this point. So, modern people probably don't think about it, but Duke was at the center of like the biggest scandal in NCAA history with the whole.
Was it Michael Jordan in some kind of scandal as well recently?
In college?
No. Recently, in recent times.
Well, he was in a lawsuit with NASCAR. I don't know about scandal.
Would you consider that a scandal, like a lawsuit?
It wasn't a scandal, no. It was more like.
When was that? I know we talked about that. Man, was it 2 months ago?
Well, that lawsuit was. So one of my only predictors on this season is that it will have to do with this lawsuit in the off season. So it was a huge story last year. This whole so it has to do with. I can't get into it. Honestly, I don't even remember the actual. I've talked about it. So we did go and look at the exact reason for the lawsuit, but it's convoluted bullshit. Some teams are like legacy teams. So they're like, they're just like built in. They can just be there and their drivers just get to go. With some other teams, they have to like jump through hoops to get their driver in the race. And so they're fighting. Michael Jordan's basically saying that they're high profile enough teams to where they shouldn't have to jump through hoops. And so they sued NASCAR and they initially lost, or at least it was a stalemate. And then in the offseason, it was NASCAR settled. So there's going to be some sort of change to that system or whatever. So he's just winning this year. He's getting to touch little white boys.
Yeah.
It's his birthday, you know. Well, who's gonna stop him? You know, this guy ain't gonna stop him. I bet this is his dad. He's just like looking away, like, well,
He's
fuck.
probably like I just said, he's probably some Manchurian candidate.
But I mean, no, absolutely too. But I mean, like, at some point, we got to break these systems down so it stops happening. Which is funny.
Nothing justifies that. I don't care if that's a Manchurian athlete's son or whatever. That still
You got a bunch of dudes drinking beer right in front of. I mean, NASCAR is always going to be have that redneck spirit. That this is the redneck sport, even though they're trying to modernize it.
Yeah, with the whole Black Lives Matter thing, but even still, people are. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But I mean, just look at this picture: a bunch of kids, a lady holding a baby drinking.
Yeah, in front of a kid.
It's 2026. What the fuck? So, and then meanwhile, this guy's just the only black guy in the screen's grabbing the white boy too. So there's just a shaming.
That's part of the. I was about to say that. Yeah, that's part of the shaming ritual right there. And his name
he still did it.
Yeah. Yeah, his name equals 59. Like here we are in Black History Month, which is on the 59th day of the year, and they've been doing all kinds of stuff. Did you hear about Tone Loc, the rapper from Atlanta, supposedly getting hospitalized? Look it up. Tone Loc. He's 59 years old right now.
Bro, I can't even get out of this. There we go. Tone Loc.
Yeah, check it out. He's the one that had those that song back in the day. It was Funky Cole Medina and another song as well. Wild Ones.
He's hospitalized. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
in
hospitalized
Georgia.
in Georgia, the fourth state, which equals 44. And I'm like, Yeah, and he's 59 years old right now. He'll turn 60 on March 3rd. But yeah, his full name is just Anthony Smith equals 59. Yeah, you see him wearing a Los Angeles Rams sweater there, jacket. You know, thinking about that too. Next year's Super Bowl will be in LA. It'll be at SoFi Stadium on Valentine's Day of all days next year.
Man, they're just going to the Rams Stadium?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You know what's interesting?
How does Gavin get like that? So basically, they just strip you guys of all your rights and make it super expensive to live. Meanwhile, they're just getting government contracts, millions and millions of dollars to host events.
Logan, they banned sports betting here in a place that's bigger than California is a pretty big spot. So to ban sports betting and stuff like that, I mean, come on.
Yeah, you made a great point about that, about how that's just something they like to do. It's almost similar to like prohibition.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, prohibition. It's just like the marijuana thing too. For a long time it was illegal, and then all of a sudden it started being legal, and you have these companies, making profits off of it, including these government agencies making money off that too. Kind of reminds me of the crack epidemic to a certain extent. What they were doing back in the 80s.
The forever polarizing epidemics that they've pushed on us. You'll never have white people and black people come together on those topics because one perceives himself as the total victim and one, is kind of like the person saying, I wouldn't have. One thing that if it happened to me, I wouldn't have.
That's one thing that plagues the speaking about Tone Loc, Mardi Gras equals 45. He was hospitalized on the 45th day of the year. But one thing that just to say that, because people are listening to the wrong people. Listening to people like Nick Fuentes and whatnot. Somebody that, comes around and says like, oh, we need to come together and whatnot. People just don't want to even do that. Like, oh, that's stupid. I don't want to come together with these people, And that's how they have people divided too. That's how they have people divided on these certain issues and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean he's like obviously part of the like right wing. Like they back in 2016, the truth movement used to be like not political. Like it was like everybody was involved, everybody was guilty, and then they started deleting channels, and then all these like right wing, these like alt-right people like Fuentes and all these other people came in and kind of like
Shirley,
took place. Yeah. Well, yeah, Nick Shirley.
Like, I was just gonna say Nick Shirley.
Yeah, Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley's a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, that dude's an idiot.
He just like plunged into everybody's YouTube feed
Yeah, he comes on my feed. I
months
don't even watch
before
his
it became
videos.
like super
Yeah.
famous, and he was doing most of his videos out of Oregon. So it was interesting. Anyway,
Oregon, the 33rd state, fitting. And think about it, he's Mormon, right? And the Mormon religion traces back to a Freemason.
absolutely.
And you know what, Oregon,
Mr. Smith.
Speaking about Oregon, that kind of reminds of like what they just did with the ICE thing. Go back and watch my live stream I did on New Year's. I predicted why to watch out for, well, a couple of states that had the 38 connection, but I said on that live stream, I said, watch out. I emphasized Minnesota because Minnesota equals 38, and I said you might want to watch out for Minnesota. And just what about a week later you get the Renee Good killing? I mean, just what a joke. Not to mention you get the killing after that of Alex Pretty, who's from Illinois. And when you think about Illinois, you think about Chicago, and George Floyd was killed on the corner of 38th in Chicago.
Mm.
And then you're having all this Chicago stuff with the Pope and Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump and whatnot. Winning the rig selection with 312 electoral college votes, and then the Pope dying 312 days after his birthday at 88 when Trump equals 88.
Pope's another one that they paraded his supposed dead body around, and it just doesn't look like
Yeah, it
anything.
doesn't look like the same Pope Francis. Yeah, it doesn't.
Not even close. Just
Did you catch that Jesuit? What's his name? Steve Bannon wanted to go after Pope Francis on the anniversary of his hospitalization this year.
What for?
I don't know. I didn't look into it, but I just seen it. I'm like, hey, this is the anniversary of Pope Francis being hospitalized 59 days after his birthday, and Pope Francis equals 59.
Yeah, I want to be surprised if we'll get another large-scale church scandal. Maybe it'll be Mormons this time.
Logan, think about it. Two Jesuits. Pope Francis,
Jesuit,
and Steve Bannon.
Of course, they're just presenting this like fake feud to the world. And it's just funny because right before you guys hopped on, I was kind of talking about something similar about how they'll how they present information, and it's like catfishes you into thinking that something's being dealt with.
People will forget about it. Like I guarantee you, next week people are going to forget about that. They're not going to talk about it no more. They're going to forget about it. No one's gonna remember what's gonna happen. No one's gonna remember that past next week.
Of course, you got Steve Bannon having one of the most mentions in the Epstein files.
Yeah, it's just anybody have all these Jesuits around the Epstein files. It's just show you it's all Jesuit. It's all Jesuit. I mean, come on, man. It's all Jesuit. You have all these Jesuits from Trump to Steve Bannon just talking about these Epstein files. Or being around these Epstein files.
Speaking of that, speaking of Georgia with that Tone Loc, that's where this Michael Proctor guy was born.
He was born in
Sylvester,
Georgia. Yeah, not too far.
The general.
Yeah, the general, like the superior general.
Got that. I think general is a term used in Masonry as well.
Yeah, it is.
I know Grand Masters and all those things, but I do think that there's generals involved.
Yeah, Sebastian read the text where they talk about how the general, how the Masons do shit in tribute to the general, which is the superior general.
Yep.
And just think about that Mason.
Well, he died at 58 too.
The Masons have the big old G as their logo. I mean, come on, man. And then the Church of the Jesu, Building 54, it's not with a J, it's with a G.
And people say it makes sense too, because like in the original alphabet there was no J and things of this nature. And what it really kind of lends to is the idea that modern, they are creating this new language that we all speak and write, and it is a coding language. It is for
English
computing.
Is a new language. English is not that old.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm teaching my kid right now, my little girl.
Yeah.
It's so convoluted trying to teach how to read and what tenses mean and how do you have a word that means the same thing or that looks the same way but sounds different. Read, read.
Yeah, read, read. Yeah, right.
It's just like I don't have the answers for. I got to tell her you got to do it, and it's just so frustrating. I don't want to tell her she has to do it, but she needs to learn how to.
It's just like lead, right? Lead,
Mhm.
lead. Yeah, just
Yeah.
how you interpret it.
But what it is because as separate to the Romance languages, Latin and French,
Right.
all those other ones, those especially Hispanic, especially like Spanish,
Right.
that those were made with basically
Because
reading
the Spanish,
body language.
the Spanish alphabet, right? The like the Mexicans when they speak Spanish, it's a different alphabet. You know what I mean? The pronunciation is what I mean is different.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a different alphabet. Yeah, they got
Yeah.
the double L in there. Pretty sick.
Yeah.
But of course, but yeah, it's just these languages are personal. English
Right.
is a coding language. It is something meant for like computing. It's like a computing language. They need to be able a computer like think about it. AI would need to know the difference between lead,
And
lead,
lead, yeah.
like it's for those like the tense and everything is like that is for computing every little change that you could be talking about. All
Right.
the apostrophes, commas, all these insane.
It's just like the number 4. There's different ways to spell it. I never understood either. Like when you're at 40 and you're at the number 4, I mean, you would think there'd be a U in it, writing 40, but it's not. Just FORTY.
Then you got the British who like color is
Yeah, they put U in color.
COLOUR.
Yeah, they put the U in it. And over
There's a
here, we
couple
just
other
put,
examples.
yeah. It's just there's so many examples, but yeah, I don't want to get into that because it'd be sitting here all day talking about it.
But yeah. So
yeah.
what do we want to get into, boys? Where are we dropping?
Well, well, there's been a lot of deaths I wanted to talk about. Wendy Williams' father.
Should I pull up your page?
Yeah, feel free to pull it up. That's fine. Should bookmark it every time I come up on here.
I got you. You're just a click away.
Yeah. Oh, I talked about Trey Johnson, the former football player. That was just a short one. Down on the 46th day of the year. Down on his 170th day of his age. Sacrifice 170, 46. Dead at 54. Jesuit order 54. By the way, he wore number 67. Human sacrifice, blood sacrifice 67. Of course, you have the whole 6-7
going
thing
strong.
going on. Yeah. And for people who don't know, I mean, 67. We've been talking about 67 for years about how it has a lot to do with killing, and all of a sudden you have this meme now. If you want my thought on that, I think it's just a mockery. I think it's a mockery. I think these people know what we're exposing, and they just got to put it out there as like, oh, it's just like this mocking thing and whatnot, just to mock people because they know people aren't gonna look into anything. They know people aren't gonna look into shit. But yeah, this man dead on the 46th day of the year on his 170th day of his age. I mean, come on, sacrifice 46, 170. I mean, you can just keep going down the list. I mean, there's a bunch. We talked about so many deaths. I mean, it's not even funny. Wendy Williams' father.
The Catholic angle too, right after Saint, Valentine's Day, which is a Catholic holiday
Catholic,
too.
yep. Mm-hmm. By the way, just to teach anybody, pull up the calculator. Just put in Valentine's Day or Saint Valentine's Day. It equals 2/14. Like it's on February 14th every year. No, you got to write out Saint.
I know, I'm about to. I was just making sure.
Yeah. I mean, just come on. And that's how coded out the language with the
I didn't
that's
know
how
that.
coded out the languages with the calendar. Saint Valentine's Day equals 2/14, and it's on 2/14. Come on now.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, just like Independence Day is 74.
Yeah.
Just like it falls on 7/4.
But that doesn't mean anything, bro. It's like, yeah, it's on 7/4 July. But then you just have some dumbass be like, but bro, we write the date. We write it 4/7.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, you can bring up that angle as well, but majority of the date they write the date 7/4.
Government 47.
Government 47, Whig 47, like Democrat, like Republican, like authority, like government, like president, like White House, like gavel, like judge. Just keep going all day. By the way, judge equals gavel in gematria, all ciphers.
like Witch and Broom, and there's so many good ones.
Yeah, Witch and Broom. Evil and Tree.
Yep.
Is another one. Evil and Tree. When you think about that, you think about Kabbalah and the evil part of the tree of life, which is the physical model of
And we got to
Kabbalah.
think about our fallen brother, and we got to think about Austin and Jesuit.
Oh
That's
my
another
God.
one we like to bring up.
Oh yeah, because his name equals Jesuit. Yeah, in all ciphers. Yeah, 80,
Oh
41,
no.
78, 42, huh? Oh, we have Logan the Mason and we have Austin the Jesuit, huh?
Hey, did you see the little short video I put out? I
Yeah, that
figured
was
we should.
hilarious. That was hilarious.
Good.
That shit was
Oh,
hilarious.
good
Yeah, I
times,
watched it. Yeah, I was dying laughing when I was like, come on. But it was funny because that wasn't planned, right? I mean, just like the whole Mason thing just came when we were talking about masonry. Like,
Mason vitamins.
yep.
Right.
Yeah. And what was it? What was the price on it? 10.7 or something like that?
Yeah, $10.07. It's like
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, come on, $10.07.
Show me a receipt of somebody buying that for $10.07.
And you got to think about that too, plus taxes and whatnot. I mean, you know, it's not $10.07.
Taxes are 33 cents a vitamin or something.
Oh, probably, yeah. Probably 33 cents. Maybe 42. Get that Freemason code in there.
Right,
yeah, man, just that. And then I also wanted you to bring up, just type in Lucy Harrison. I want you to bring up this story because I remember this story. It was recent. They brought it up on the Vatican's birthday. Nonetheless, they brought on the Vatican's birthday, the 97th birthday of the Vatican. But yeah, the British woman supposedly shot and killed by her father. And what's crazy? We're talking about the UK. This one's from the UK, but got shot in Texas. That doesn't even make any sense. How are you from the UK and get shot in Texas by your father? Unless she was
another
adopted
white blonde girl.
Yep, another. And you know what? Look at those pictures. Those pictures right there just look AI generated.
Yep.
They don't even look legit.
Banana bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, they had to wait 1 year. They couldn't report it when it happened. They had to wait 1 year on the Vatican's birthday to report about her death. But yeah, just go on my post and you'll see. I documented it because I'm like, this is such a joke. This woman killed over Trump, but yeah, she was killed on January 10th. No accident there. In gematria, president equals 110. It's basically just taking the alphabet and adding it up. Again, president equals 110. Suppose this woman killed over the president. If you write out Republican, it equals 101. That date we're in 10-1 or 110, wherever you're at. Again, she's from the UK, so they write the date before the month. So it's 10-1 there. But yeah, so it covers your bases. Here in the United States, right at 110. In the UK, they're right at 10-1. So you got your bases covered. Her full name or her name alone equals 163, like Make America Great Again, which is the 38th prime, of course. Gematria, death equals 38, like murder, like killing, RIP, like the Donald, like election. But here, scroll down a little bit more, if you could. Look at the father's name. That's the name of the father. Look at his name. 159, 165. Scottish Rite equals the same thing, right?
I love the female spelling of Chris too. It's just like, bro, what's with this?
Yeah, who spells her name like that?
I think there was a basketball player, Chris Humphreys, that did it too. Those are the only two I can think of that had KRIS.
But yeah, his name just happens to equal 159 and 165, like Scottish Rite, like Donald Trump's born on the 165th day of the year, and Donald Trump equals 159. Who could forget the golf course assassination attempt hoax on the 15th of the 9th month? Who could ever forget that? Total hoax. Anybody falling for that is just is an idiot.
The fever dream of assassination.
CIA, another CIA plant.
Yeah.
CIA actor.
Yeah, it's just
there's just no proof that anything happened at all.
Yeah, there's not. There's no proof. Like what? Oh, because the authorities said so. It's like, well, okay, these authorities lie to you every day, so we're going to trust the authorities who lie to us every day. But yeah, it just happened to come on his 211th day of his age, Donald Trump. Again, The Apprentice equals 211. He's known as the Apprentice, Freemasonry, the Ancient Apprentice. But yeah, 47th prime. It happened in Prosper, Texas. And how you write on an envelope equals 47, like Republican, like president, like authority, like government, like White House. And I keep going on with that. But, Trump equals 47. The name Lucy, the same cipher equals 47. Right before becoming number 47. And I even put the screenshot down there. Don't forget the Masons. They said the 47 prime of Euclid about how to establish foundation, which equals 47. Of course,
Trump's probably
a Mason.
When you hear Lucy, I almost always find an homage to Lucifer as well. That's his nickname.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's also, it goes with his characteristics, which, by the way, like, think of like the Templars and worshiping Baphomet, and that's like, that's the female male like form thing. That's attributed with Lucifer as well.
Yeah, the
And
androgynous.
that's why his
The
nickname is,
male and female.
Lucy, a female name. Yeah.
Yeah, and you
Anyway.
think about it too, like as I do with Jesus as well. The morning star. The devil's morning star.
Venus.
But yeah, notice this shooting. It happened on the 33rd parallel north, and it's also on the 96th meridian. Freemason equals 96. If you take the degrees of the Scottish Rite, 31, 32, and 33, they add to 96. Coincidentally, it just happens to be that way. But Drumpf equals 33, and if you guys don't know, Donald Trump, the original Trump name was not Trump, it was Drumpf, and they changed it to Trump. But yeah, Drumpf
doesn't hit the same. Donald Trump. It kind of sounds like a cartoon.
Yeah, well, I mean, all this stuff's kind of like a cartoon. It's just like a movie, just playing out. But yeah, Drumpf equals 33, like false flag, like police, like federal, like masonry, like secrecy, like order, all 33. So you get the shooting on the 33rd parallel. And then it just happened, coincidentally, just happened to come 67 days after the election on November 5th. And, if you go down there, it says Prosper, Texas equals 67, where the shooting happened at. Coincidentally, just happens to be that way. Lined up so perfectly. King equals 67. He won on the, supposedly he got the votes on the anniversary of King James's, what would be his almost assassination attempt. Kind of like how Donald Trump almost got assassinated. But yeah, King equals 67, like satanic, and I even put right there, what could be more satanic about killing your own daughter for the orange clown? But yeah, satanic equals 67. The word killer is 67. Blood sacrifice, human sacrifice, 67. By the way, Freemasonry also equals 67 when you use a cipher called single reduction. And sure, remind you how George Washington, coming up on President's Day, George Washington died at 67.
So you have subsequent movies like
and also the Skrilla, the guy who wrote that 6-7 song, he does blood sacrifices and stuff.
Yeah, he went on Adam Grant
public.
Mason. He went on Adam Grant. Think about that. Think about that, Sebastian. He went on Adam Grant Mason's show to talk about that. Another Mason who sacrificed his grandfather.
Yep, he makes sacrifices. He says that's why he's famous. He says he credits his career to doing sacrifices and doing rituals and stuff.
Since we're talking about Adam 22 as well. Adam 22, a total degenerate.
The master number, and then Adam.
Yeah.
Just the name is like.
Well, his last name is Grand Mason. I mean, come on, Grand
Oh
Mason?
yeah, true. And they just obviously they're making out him to be a
Isn't Adam 22 in Hebrew gematria, like in Hebrew?
Maybe, I'm not sure on that. You probably.
But the joke there is obviously that he's like this cuck that is like selling out his, borrowing out his wife or whatever to just get fucked. Well, the story of the Garden of Eden.
It's like a black man versus a white man thing going on. So that kind of feels to the whole racial division too. Like white man versus. It's all Masonic. It's all black and white duality. That's all this shit is. It's inside jokes for the Masons.
Well, there's a large sect of Christianity even that believes that she had sex with the snake. That the snake is a euphemism for a Nephilim, and that kind of gave birth to the Cain side of humanity. There was Cain and Abel, and obviously Cain killed Abel and all that stuff. But they were saying that Cain is not Adam's son; it is the snake DNA. So that's kind of like that concept is that Adam was a cuck in the garden. That that Eve was off fucking the snake.
Yeah, it just like I said, Logan. It's inside jokes from the cabal who, they literally use this esoteric, not just esoteric knowledge, but they use knowledge from the Bible. They use all this stuff and put it together, and people can't even put it together. They're like, you point it out, right? You point out like, oh, this is what they're doing, yada yada yada, right? You point that out. These people are like, man, you sound really insane. You know how schizophrenic you sound.
Well, I mean, Epstein himself in his email said that. Epstein himself in his email said that like he wasn't interested in science, he was interested in esoteric math, which is gematria.
Yeah, well, that's a component of it, but yeah, even then, And then the whole thing of you just showed last week about how to watch out for Tisha Bob, and just coincidentally he happens to die on Tisha Bob.
Yep, and then that guy's his gematria teacher.
Yep. It's just like Donald Trump. He had a Kabbalah teacher. He talked about not gematria, but he talked about Kabbalah.
Well, no, there was that clip of them talking about gematria with Trump.
Mhm.
That when you were talking about the 424.
Yeah,
I don't believe that's accurate. Some people have said that his name doesn't add up to 424, but who knows?
I mean, you never know. It might not be through like any kind of modern cipher or something like that.
Right.
Maybe it is. It's a more intuitive.
Maybe it's like a more
technique.
ancient. Yeah, maybe it's more ancient. Yeah. Maybe it's like a whole different cipher system. That's the thing too. Like people are
Still
like,
interesting. The rep digit 424 though. I mean that 4224 is kind of interesting still.
Oh yeah, and then he took office in 24, or didn't take office in 24, but he got elected in 24. Yeah, the whole Freemason. DC is also 42 as well. There's DC 42. I think it's in Sumerian it equals 42.
So I remember seeing this headline, but I didn't look into it all. But so I'm glad you had this covered because I thought it was a ridiculous headline.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Woman shot over
oh
argument over Trump.
Dude,
just like
I thought it was. When I seen that headline, I just laughed. I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, well, why does this have to be a national news story on Fox News?
Well,
but not only that, right? Again, they had to wait, Logan. They had to wait a whole fucking year. They couldn't report it on January 10th because I didn't hear about it on January 10th, 2025. I heard about it on February 11th. So it's like they had to wait.
I mean, it's also part of the programming to divide people, like all the conservatives and all the like. This is what people are seeing, like, oh, this guy killed his daughter over Trump, you know.
But they're thinking it's real. Here's the problem.
Here's what's happening, guys. This is the replacement. This is the pendulum swing. I talked to my girlfriend about this. I talked to Austin about this several times. But what they're doing, you mentioned Nick Fuentes, and you talk about this rise of like the alt-right.
Yeah,
homie's gay. He's a faggot.
Yeah.
So they're gonna give this guy
that's blackmail. That's for blackmail purposes.
All these guys are gonna worship this guy and use him on a pedestal. You'll find out Andrew Tate was getting pegged too. You'll find out all these guys are effeminate losers.
I think Andrew Tate's already admitted. And what does he call himself? He calls himself the top G.
Very good
that's
point.
such a joke.
Yeah, top G, huh? Top Mason.
But yeah, they're replacing all these guys in real time, and you'll see that all these people, these alt-right all these conservative, who these terms all meld together, but all these Republican winged people, leaning people are all going to find out that their constituents are all like the opposite of what they would want, and then they're stuck with their their pants at their ankles, on the wrong side. It's like, wait, you like this guy who's getting pegged?
Conservatives aren't that smart. They're pretty stupid people. I'm sorry. Most conservatives are pretty dumb.
And I don't mind simple people. Like dumb and simple, I think, are two different things. Like I would rather be simple than know all the stuff I know, to be honest. Like not to say that I wouldn't want to know it if it was happening. I'd rather it wasn't happening and I wouldn't have to know it. And I'd just be able to live a simple life. We are being robbed of our right to live a simple life.
It's just like in my age.
Anybody that's like political and thinks that voting is the solution to anything is just like an idiot.
Yeah, they're a moron.
I mean, I've never voted. I've always known that voting was rigged ever since I was like 12.
Yeah, I'm around the same time as you. I've always known voting was a scam and
fourth grade for me.
Up in there. Yeah, I've always known these people are a bunch of agents. And when I was growing up and shit, I was like, man, we have Obama as the president. I mean, this is a joke.
And it's like officially, there's 8 levels above. There's 8 levels above the president, and it's like, do you really think that your vote counts? A guy who comes in every 4 years and then they're out 4 years later, maybe 8 years. Like people work for the government for like decades in the CIA, the NSA, the FBI.
They have this false conclusion, like when somebody gets out of the FBI or gets out of the CIA, they're like, oh, well, they're out of the CIA, so it doesn't matter. It's like, no.
Nope.
They go into the private sector and they're your tech giants.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they were in the private sector the whole time. The sectors are intertwined, guys. You cannot just go and do the things that these connected people are able to do. That's the
Right.
American dream. That's literally the American. You're asleep.
Right.
That's the American dream. Is you're just in la la land thinking that you can go and do these things. That's not to say that you should give up or not look to do better with your life or anything like that. You can do
Right.
plenty well with your own ingenuity and your own
I mean,
wherewithal.
if you have the
It's just
smarts
don't
to
be
do it,
surprised if you get big enough that you're going to be pushed
you know,
out or forced to incorporate yourself with these people that are in the club.
yeah, it's just like you can't get on top of the world. You can't be on top without being a part of the club. That's just the reality of it. You can't be. Well, another thing too is you got to be born into it as well. You got to be born in. I mean, not just your everyday average Joe gets there and is like, oh yeah, I'm going to be the president of the United States. Like that just doesn't happen.
Also, those
not,
people are under, like, obviously under MK Ultra, like the way that Mitch McConnell freezes up on stage, and like so all these politicians, like they've perfected these techniques, like how to hypnotize people and whatever. And
Does anybody speaking about MK Ultra? Does anybody remember that old clip of Al Roker speaking about the Today Show and this whole Nancy Guthrie thing? Anybody remember the clip of Al Roker freezing up live on TV?
It's on the. I've definitely seen it. I don't remember what the context was though. Look it up.
Supposedly, I have to go back and watch it too. It's been some years, but I remember when that happened. I seen it live on TV. I was like, "What the hell's going on here with these people?" Like, what? Like he just stays frozen for like what? A good
Yeah,
5
it was
minutes?
it was the length of time he was frozen. That's what was interesting about
Yeah,
it.
and it was like, I mean, what? That's like, what's really going on here?
Nancy Pelosi's done it too.
Yeah.
Obviously Mitch McConnell. His is good because he looks like a dying turtle, but
Yeah, it looks like one of those damn Ninja Turtles. Yeah. Old Turkey Mitch.
on good old Rockefeller Plaza.
Yeah, play that clip. That's a classic right there. You can play the audio if you can too, because there was a trigger word in there, and she said something, and all of a sudden he just froze. It was creepy. I'm not gonna lie. When I seen it back in the days.
You guys hear it?
No, I can't hear it. I can't hear it on my end.
Damn, I have audio shared.
Yeah, StreamYard does that sometimes too to me when I'm streaming on StreamYard. That's kind of why I stream more on OBS now, because the sound won't come through. Or
It's 50-50 with me and Austin, so I don't half the time I'm sharing my screen audio, it works, and the other half it doesn't. I don't know what to do to fix it.
Pretty sure on other episodes it's worked. Oh, we can get some subtitles and that'd be nice.
Let's see. I don't know if it has it.
Probably
I'm
can't.
sure I could on the YouTube if I found the YouTube clip.
Yeah, I think if you go to YouTube better, you could probably hear the sound or audio. Because that's on the Today Show's website, correct? That's on the official website. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Is that Savannah Guthrie?
Yep.
Oh my God. We got to talk
That's
about her.
hilarious that you bring that shit up.
We got to talk about that after we watch this clip, because
that's wild. I didn't even think about that. Gotta love the ladder in the background. Gotta love it.
Yeah. And then you got, is that Matt Lauer? That's Matt. Remember Matt Lauer went through some kind of humiliation ritual back in the day?
And the orange is 33.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. New York.
And that's the only color that equals 33.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's the only color.
I mean, guys, look at this. This is a tracing board. I find these all over the place. This ladder in between these two light posts. This is a tracing board.
Orange ladder. It's an orange ladder.
Yep.
This is hilarious. This is Joaquin Boaz, and this is the ladder to heaven thing that they were. It's so funny.
Yeah. Hey, you got the black and white tie going on too. You got the black tie.
You got black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys too.
Yeah, you got that going on. Yeah, just play the clip, man. That right there, man. Talk about Catholic
Wow.
school. Yeah, they're
But
talking about Catholic school. The Holy Ghost. I think as soon as she said Holy Ghost, that's when he started with that. The whole
good
5 minutes.
point. He's making that
Scream.
crazy face.
Look at that.
Yep, they literally mentally like break these people.
Look at that for a whole 35 years.
35
Oh
years ago, Holy Ghost Catholic.
No. Oh man, you know what? I laugh at it now because we're talking about this whole Savannah Guthrie thing too. Her mom disappeared 35 days after her birthday, and she was pleading with people about her mother's disappearance on the 35th day of the year. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, for a whole 5 minutes, he's just like that. I ain't gonna lie. When I see that,
And bro, they don't even look at him.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah, they're not
definite
even paying
ritual.
He's in a
They
trance.
know.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
in a
he's in a
trance.
trance.
She probably said a trigger word or something, and it put
Yeah,
him in
she
a
said
trance.
Holy Ghost.
Yeah, Holy
His trigger
Ghost, and he
was
just
Holy Ghost.
immediately.
Oh, that's the trigger word.
Yeah, and he just froze for like 5 straight minutes. You know what? Run the gematria and Holy Ghost. Let's see.
Got something I probably should
Look
know.
at
33.
that. 33.
129,
48.
interesting.
Oh my,
48, got the
129.
Masonic numbers. 80.
Oh my God. Yeah, and the dividers of 33 some to 48. I mean, oh my God.
Bishop 33.
Freemasonry
Look at this,
for
guys.
48.
Corona 33.
Yep.
The sun has a corona. That's like the Jesuit logo. It's basically a corona of the sun rays.
Yep.
Here's what I was talking about, though. You got the ladder in between the two pillars. Sometimes the third pillar is
Well, look
shown,
at those
not
colors.
always.
Look at those
Mhm.
colors, man. Look at at the left corner left. Look at that. Isn't that the same colors as they had in the background there? The Today Show. Look at
Oh,
that.
that's a good point. This isn't even like their logo.
It looks.
Well, I
a lot
mean,
like
yeah,
the logo.
isn't that film from the Masonic Temple, or no? That's Jimmy Kimmel.
That's Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's.
Mhm.
He films out of the Masonic Temple. Some people
Where
on Reddit
is the
it's kind of
Today Show?
conspiracy.
Also, remember that blue, the like Epstein's place is covered in blue, but I read from the Masonic Bible how important blue is, how symbolic it is in Masonry.
NBA Studio 1A. Where's that? Rockefeller Plaza, 48th Street. 35 West 48th Street. Come on.
Yeah. Freemason 30 or I'm sorry, Freemason 48, Catholic 35.
35, yep.
Holy See is also 35 as well. Talking about the Catholic Church and the Holy See. Holy Ghost, Holy See.
Oh, Rockefeller Plaza, 266. Yeah. Let's see. What's
86 like Jesuits. Got the 96.
Got the 86 with the 10 in it as well. 10 Rockefeller Plaza.
Bro, Rockefeller alone equals Society of Jesus. Just take out the Plaza and 10.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And they got the 110, a reminder of the World Trade Centers. 110 stories tall. Man. And here we are years later talking about Savannah Guthrie and her mom and all this 35 shit. And
yeah, that's a crazy synchronicity right there. Just how does that get brought up and then boom, she's right there. That's crazy.
And you put up Rockefeller. Epstein said that he was the representative for Rockefeller, I think.
Well, yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Rockefeller.
No, I think it was Rothschilds actually. But no, he was friends with Rockefeller too. I think I don't remember, but he did business with both. I know.
I thought it was a Rockefeller-oriented person who like gave him his start.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the Red Shields.
I mean, both families are involved with each other.
Yeah, of course.
Do you guys, speaking about Rockefeller, did you hear about Mr. Beast teaming up with the Rockefeller Foundation?
I did.
Yeah, I did hear about that. Yes.
Yeah, it was 201 days after his birthday. He did it.
Yeah, I'm working on a video on that.
Yeah, he did that 201 days after his birthday. He did it. I think it was on November 24th. Yeah, it was 201 days after.
And did you see he's going to do a bank?
What was that?
He's going to do a bank.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, think about
Which is hilarious because he catfished all those people to get that like non-bank app where they can like move their money, and now it's going to be like incorporated into a bank, and they're just going to be like, This is how they like. This is there's always like things they
There's always a
do.
catch to it. There's always a
Mhm.
catch to it. Yeah. There's always a catch to it. It's always like that. It'll never not be like that.
Jimmy.
And think about his birthday too. His birthday is the 127th day of the year. I mean, really. But yeah, he did it 201 days after his birthday. Jimmy Stephen Donaldson equals Order of Illuminati 93 and 105. Order of Illuminati 201. The Jesuit Order 201. I mean, come on, man. The Rockefellers are a Jesuit. They have if you just look it up on Google, it says the Rockefeller Foundation and Jesuit organizations have intersected primarily through high-level dialogues on population control, social policy, and education rather than direct formal partnerships. And it says key engagements included John D. Rockefeller III working with Jesuits in the 1960s to bridge gaps regarding family planning and population control. So yeah, I mean, and just think about that definition, man. Population control. They want to do that.
Got that famous name of John D as well. It's like a John D was like a
Look at its
sorcerer.
establishment too. Look at its establishment. May 14th, 1913. Does that date look familiar to you guys?
Remind me.
State of Israel. That's when they were established in 48.
Did you see that Mr. Beast is gonna do like loans for housing and all this stuff?
Yeah, I think that's another scam too. Because I mean, you got to think about this guy. This is the same guy who put together all these fake giveaways. Like, come on, man. Who's falling for any of that shit?
It's like winning a luxury car off of a game show. You're fucked.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, if you go on something like Family Feud and they're offering you, oh yeah, this new car. It's like, no, that's a sham.
What is Jimmy Donaldson's disease? Oh, he's got Crohn's disease.
Yeah,
okay. They make it seem like he has some like crazy illness. He needs to take a lot of shits. That's his disease. He gets tummy aches.
That's probably part of the joke too. That's probably part of the joke. I wouldn't be surprised. They like their shit jokes.
All his energy drinks.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember. You know what? Speaking on a personal thing with Mr. Beast, I remember when Mr. Beast was not that popular. I remember following him. He only had about 6,000 subscribers. Funny enough.
Oh wow.
And you know, he actually shouted me out one time, and you know, I was happy for that when he did that. But you know, I tried to reach out to him years later, and I got nothing back. I was like, this guy's a sellout. I was like, come on, man. I remember when he was not that famous. He was actually doing well. His videos were pretty stupid. He would just do these stupid videos. But you know, as time progressed and he started getting a bigger audience, he started doing these, you know, giving back to people, if you will. You know, giving back cars and you know, buying a whole lot of cars, which is a hoax. I mean, but yeah, buying cars and giving them out to people for free.
Here's what I'll say about that. Is as much as the numbers are manufactured, you know, for people to say that they, you know, have millions of followers or tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers, that I think that is a lure, because people will want, it's the fear of missing out that people have. They'll be like, I want to be one of the people watching this. Like, oh, this guy has this many followers. I got to know what's going on. And so they lure people in with those fake numbers, but eventually they will have that many real people watching. And what I have to say about that is it's just this weird thing with people right now. They want to vicariously live, like, well, I mean, pack openings and like give backs and things like that. It's like, just think about that logically.
Yeah.
This person, even if it's a car, this guy buys one car for $30,000. Let's say it's a new car, a nice car, $30,000. Homie just made that yesterday. He made that in one day because you guys are all watching it.
He wipes his ass with that type of money, man.
Is super dystopian. It's like, it's a completely safe corporate. Like, Mr. Beast will never have any kind of anti-establishment opinion ever. Like, he will go along with whatever the mainstream is.
Mm-hmm. Man, look it up, Mr. Beast. If you can, well, I don't know if you have Twitter, but if you just look it up, Mr. Beast conspiracy nut job, just look that up. He was tweeting some guy about that because some guy called him out on his because he was supposedly teaming up with the Rockefellers and making these like fake chicken, fake artificial
When it's
food.
like conspiracy and whatever, and guess what? Literally in the files, they work with Epstein, and they know about and they're literally involved with, trafficking children, eating children, sacrificing children. This is all fact.
Let's
Like,
see if
it's
you
all
can-
been revealed.
Oh, I don't think you can see my comment underneath it. I put a comment underneath there. Have to be signed in there. But yeah, just read that. You
theory
conspiracy nut
jobs are
jobs.
so funny with you frame
Also,
things.
his food is trash. It's super unhealthy. It's actually even more unhealthy than like Hershey's, his chocolates.
I can imagine.
I've never had his food, so I can't comment.
Yeah, they actually have more sugar than Hershey's, but he claims that they're the healthiest chocolates.
Bullshit.
And they have soy in them too.
Talk about
It's literally soy chocolate.
dystopian. His food looks like.
His food is basically a carbon copy of Hershey's, just with a little bit more chocolate. That's all it is, and he charges a little bit more for it.
I doubt that there's any chocolate in it. I think Americans' version of what they think chocolate is. I don't think there's any cacao in there at all.
No,
they're just brown number 8.
It's
just
probably
soy.
He probably using.
No, it's literally soy. Yeah, look it up. You look up the ingredient list.
He's probably using that same technology that he wants.
It's literally soy, sugar, and like corn syrup.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, you conspiracy nut jobs are so funny with how you frame.
Buy my chocolate flavored corn soy slop.
You know what? And he was also selling like these Lunchable type things, and people said
that's what I was thinking of.
Mold growing in it. It's like, so you're selling shit with mold growing in it. Like,
hey,
moldy burger.
That sounds healthier than McDonald's. McDonald's doesn't even mold.
Yeah, McDonald's.
So
McDonald's food it doesn't rot. There's been experiments done on
on
YouTube.
Then again, the fact that this does mold, it might almost be worse. It's like, so wait, there is some sort of like bio.
In the future,
in there,
the only way to do drugs is to eat the moldy Mr. Beast burger.
There you go. Yeah. That's the only way to
cure your infection. Headset under
in your
metaverse.
In your metaverse somewhere, sit down in your metaverse somewhere. In your little basement there. You get your little Mr. Beast. Did
you guys ever see Pan's Labyrinth?
You'll be
I've heard of it.
Competing in Mr. Beast games, trying to get Mr. Beast points. So you can eat your beast slop.
Sebastian, have you seen Pan's Labyrinth?
I'm not sure. I've
heard of it. I've heard of
this weird movie.
Let's
see if I can bring up the
my mom didn't. I was a Jehovah's Witness, so my mom didn't let me watch like anything that was like slightly.
Another good movie is what's that other Soylent Green? That's another good movie too.
I just brought up. That's what I was saying. I was like, soy in it. I was like, maybe Soylent.
If you look it up, they found that I think it was like 2 or 10 or something, like 2 or 10% of, or no, 66% of vegetarian meat had human DNA in it.
Nice, probably. Which is just like, how does that even work?
Yeah, it's like how does that get in there?
Yeah.
And then you watch stuff like War of the Worlds, where they scoop up all the humans and spray their innards on all of their crops, and they hyper grow, and it's just like And you look at grave sites and things of that nature of natural burials, and that's the whole purpose for like a wooden casket is like eventually you will be one with the earth again, and it's like a good thing or a natural thing in the way that we were burying people. And I don't know if it's right or not wrong, or I'm just saying there is something, the death of a rotting carcass's death is great for the plants around it.
Yeah, because you disintegrate basically.
Well, it like completes a cycle of life all in like one spot. You'll have like the death eater, like you'll have like the organisms that thrive on entropy come around, and like what they excrete is the like compost for life. So it's just like just think about bones. Like bones of any animals and humans is great fertilizer. So
yeah, we got to put more of these losers in the ground, man.
But yeah, but you're talking about the metaverse and like eating moldy food. It kind of remind me of this scene. You know, it's the quintessential scene where it's like, you know, you have all these people eating, and they think they're eating this like grand feast, but they're all just
programming. Predictive programming is what that was.
Yeah, they're all exactly. They're all in a trance, and all this food is like old and moldy. Where can I not find the moldy food? Damn. You know what I'm looking for.
I remember that was a big controversy with Mr. Beast and stuff. I was like, who the fuck is buying this shit? I mean,
yeah, I know.
Man, it's like not even going to show it. Anyway, all this food is like rotten and nasty. And so yeah, you'll be sitting there with your headset on, you know, snacking away on your food. You know, your taste buds are fried. You don't even like taste things anymore.
Smoking their artificial weed, you know, smoking.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if everyone has a smoke tube. You know, they have like they're gonna buy cartridges, like huge cartridges that they fit into a vape machine, and they just smoke all day long. And these are just the predecessors, these little vape cartridges things.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. By the way, Marlboro cigarettes equals 201.
Oh, nice.
Just figured I'd bring that up. Yeah, Marlboro cigarettes equals 201. You can see who's behind Marlboro cigarettes.
And that's
oops. I think it's 1G.
Yeah, I misspelled it.
Yeah, 20184.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's damn. Who is the Marlboro man? What's his fucking name? Oh my goodness.
I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of the name off the top of my head. Funny because I remember when Marlboros were pretty cheap to buy, relatively cheap.
Okay, there's someone who played the Marlboro man, but whatever. Guess it's just a figure, according to Google. Dude, what is going on? Within the last like few months, Google has seriously gotten so much worse.
Yeah,
it never gives you what you're first looking for, ever.
Yeah, that's why I use AI now.
No, even like you know Gemini and stuff. They're when you look up something on Google and they're with their AI definition of on Gemini.
Oh, but that's. Are you talking about like that like when you search something just on Google search the auto? That's trash. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like Gemini. Like actually, that's trash. That's like
I feel like I'm gonna say this. I feel like Google was better before they introduced Gemini. I feel like Google was it was a better platform, if not to look up some stuff on.
That's always got to be part of their indexing like a summarizer tool. If you use like actual Gemini, like the app, that's an actual like smart AI model. You want to use the thinking one.
Yeah, I don't really use Google like that. If anything, to look anything up, I actually just I go deep and make sure and double check. I don't use Google as like a just look up on Google and here it is.
You can use the deep research tool and it'll like go and search for like exactly what you're looking for. That's really helpful. I found a lot of stuff using that.
Speaking of American Spirit, we got a queer bait in who likes to troll us all day who smokes American Spirits. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It was
yeah, I saw
near in Nevada. If you know what I mean.
One of them they said made a video about Zach saying that he was secretly a nurse.
Yeah.
And that his wife is secretly designed the COVID vaccine and that she's an illegal immigrant. It's like the most insane schizo
but then
shit like ever.
I mean, they're like sheep, aren't they? They're just like sheep. They're like, oh, she's an illegal immigrant. It's like a sheep. I said,
it's literally mental illness.
The sheep literally do that shit too. That's their same talking points. Oh, get these illegals out of here. That's basically what they're saying.
It's literally just mental illness.
Oh, I know it's mental illness. I know that guy's a retard, man. That's why he can't. All right, here I'm gonna say something about this. I know people are probably gonna get pissed off, but again, going on CT's platform and giving that dude any kind of awareness. I mean, no.
Hey,
I totally agree. CT's. I think that Zach's totally wasting his time on CT.
Does he
Well,
even
yeah,
still
but
go
never
on there? I mean,
mind the
I don't even know if
idea
he
of
goes on
wasting
there.
time.
Well,
You know,
I think it just makes it look bad because it's like they'll bring somebody on and they'll just make fun of them and then talk over them and then like
Yeah.
they can't make any points.
Exactly.
And I think it just makes it look bad. Like it's just
there's
like
a sense of pride, and
like
Zach
they're
is,
like it's like they're just like monkeys that they bring on and make fun of.
Yeah.
of course. I mean, I think Zach knows too that he's
He knows.
barking up the
Zach
wrong
knows.
tree, and
And I mean, also the people watching CT. I mean, you got to be like really dumb to find that like entertaining, you know?
Well, it's just like what I talked about last week with you guys. That guy CT, he's a former actor. He used to be part of the Black Lives Matter movement, and he went back and deleted his whole Twitter account. I mean, that guy's an agent.
And he was in a fraternity.
Well,
Yeah,
look at
Sigma Pi Phi.
what the bad faith actors that show up around this community do. They try to make this community look like those communities. So it kind of gives you the idea that the people there's levels to it. There's people that are awake to a certain level of fuckery in this world, and then the way that they try to draw those people away is by making it seem like the person they're following or in a community with has the same tendencies as the fuckery guys. And then you look at the even lower level of people who are just in the fuckery guys chat. Like, bro, what are you doing there? Why do you have hundreds of viewers? Who is watching this?
Well, there's a lot of people that used to be around. There's a lot of people that used to be around the community, and I recognize some of those names. They're in CT's chat applauding CT. It's hilarious. It is hilarious.
I think it's just just like group feeding. That whole network with like Andrew Wilson and like Jay Dyer and
I can't stand him.
Of course, but like they have a network that they just build together.
The little faggot who can't open a pickle jar. Andrew Wilson, he's a faggot. I'm sorry.
He can just get his wife to open it. His handsome wife can open it.
Did you know that? Did you know that fascism? You know that word comes from fasci, which is a bundle of sticks. Yeah. It's literally fascism is literally faggotism.
Mm-hmm.
It does have a deeper connotation as well.
And that's also
the Romans actually stole that symbol. So it's not like that symbol started in Rome.
No, it didn't start. No.
But think about in Rome. Think about Rome. Yeah, full of faggots. They were having sex with kids in the open in bathhouses, and the women were just as involved. I've always said this. You guys need to look into like the history because so often you'll like, Ava Braun. She was just I'm not even huge on the whole Hitler narrative. There's certain figures that you're given: Napoleon, Hitler, Stalin, all these guys that are just larger than life. I think we're watching the story of the history play out right now of another character that's going to go down in the history books as larger than life.
Story. I call it the IHS story. That's what it is.
But yeah, the women were just as culpable, and they've always kind of pawned it off because I think it has to do with the male like ego and psyche. They don't want what happens to a society that thinks their whole pool of women is wrong, in some way, it just wouldn't work well. You can't, you'd lose control over the population if all men thought that the entire pool of women was cooked. Well, look at what they're doing to us right now. Like, go and look up. I bet if you just type in women, like 90% of what you'll get is just like debauchery. So it's just like, fuck, dude.
Well, and then that's all by design too, because like a lot of these women too, they got their, they're listening to the, Megan Thee Stallions, which is a man. That's Megan Thee Stallions is a man. Basically, she's called Megan the uncastrated horse. That's what she just called her, because that's literally what stallion means. Listening to people like that, Cardi B, listening to shit like that, and they're getting influenced by it. You know what I mean? These women now are getting influenced. I'm not saying all women. I'm just saying some of these women are getting influenced by it, and they're like you just said, they're trying to live vicariously through these characters.
Nicki Minaj being that's another character I'm talking. I was mentioning all these, like Nicki Minaj is becoming a right wing like advocate. It's just like, guys, they are.
Nicki Minaj is basically an illegal immigrant.
Oh, I think she's.
Well, it's just like Donald Trump. Isn't Donald Trump his wife, right? His wife is an immigrant, right?
I want to be surprised if Nicki Minaj.
is literally illegal. Like, you can look that up.
Yeah.
So it's like the people want to deport the illegals, but they're
supporting a Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, they're supporting Nicki Minaj, who's literally like she would get deported.
You have to pry her from Donald Trump's cold dead hands.
It's
you
because
see
their follow that.
Did you see their photo op holding hands? So gross.
What was that?
Did you see their little photo op holding hands, Nicki Minaj and Donald Trump?
Yeah, I seen that.
I'll show you, Sebastian.
I seen it. I know what you're talking about.
I think Sebastian did it.
Oh, Sebastian.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it.
It's just like, bro, when I showed my girl and I was like, who's the captive here? Who do you think is like more scared of the other? It's like you would assume like Nicki Minaj, but sometimes I'm like, he might just be holding the hands of like a 50-degree witch that can literally put a curse on him.
She did sacrifice her own father, and that's what we're going to talk about. She's not going to talk about how she sacrificed her father at age 38 and how he died pretty much 67 days after her birthday. He's not going to talk about that. Now, years later, she's holding hands with Mr. Church of Satan.
Here we go. This is the one I laughed at. It's just so...
Nicki Minaj, by the way, equals the Jesuit order. Nicki Minaj equals the Jesuit order, literally in gematria. It's hilarious.
What am I doing here? Here we go. It's just like, bro, they both look so... and look at the grip. And like, look at her nails. It's just so fucked, dude. It's just like, what are we looking at? Like, why are you holding this woman's hand? It's just so stupid. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
And vice versa. Why are you holding his hand too? It's just, but like, it's
part of the ritual. Strange. Part of the ritual.
And then his backtracking on the Clintons recently, saying they're good people. It's just like, what?
Yeah, it's insane. It's hilarious. And the people totally fall for it. Like he says he talks like this big game, and then he doesn't do like literally any of the stuff that he promised.
Zoom in on that.
I got a good picture of Sebastian here.
You got to zoom in on that.
That's insane. That's hilarious.
Like, look at his kung fu grip too. Look at his hands going white, dude. It's like, is that because she's holding it tight or he's holding it tight? It's crazy.
I want to know if that's.
He looks like an alien.
What'd you say?
I was gonna say that's Masonic.
I said that she looks like an alien.
I mean, there's a lot. Look at the turkey neck. Like, you just yank that thing.
Got McConnell going on.
Mm-hmm.
Just flick it.
Speed bag it.
Look at their facial expressions too. Just look at their facial expressions.
Like, they're both looking at two different things too, which is interesting too.
Yeah.
She's like paralyzed. Someone said Holy Ghost just now. She's just like staring.
It's funny that Savannah Guthrie's the one saying that. It's funny that she said that when he froze up.
That's very interesting, dude. That's actually very interesting.
I got to look at that angle now, just because now her mom supposedly went, which is a total hoax. I guarantee you her mom's sitting in a hotel or somewhere just chilling, laughing at all these idiots.
Let's see who Savannah Guthrie. Where does she come from?
Suppose she's from Australia.
What's up with her father though? What's up with her parents? Where is she really from? Charles Guthrie, huh? What did Charles
Guthrie passed away, huh?
When she was only 46.
Oh, wow. Catholic 46, sacrifice 46. They could take get some, like, some background. To find Nancy Guthrie. Just these headlines are a joke, man.
Let's see if
it's a hoax.
Good old Wikipedia has her background though, like her real background.
Yeah, I see a lot of people talking about it, and they're like, "Oh my God, we launch an investigation," and what's like, dude, this shit's a hoax.
Ooh, she went to Georgetown.
Yeah, she's Jesuit educated. She went to Georgetown.
Oh my God, what a joke!
Yeah, she's Jesuit educated, and she's 54 right now.
Yep, I did see that. Zach.
John Carroll, 54. Jesuit Georgetown established by 54-year-old John Carroll on February 1st, 2-1. Jesuit 21 and 84. Clean on April, or not April, I keep saying April. February 4th, 4-2. 84 days after the Superior General's birthday. I want to see when her father died, though. Curious.
I'm sure it's, let's see, disappearance of mother. Okay, let's go back to it.
She was supposed to even host the Winter Olympics this year, too. There could be an angle with that. The Olympics equals 40, and if you write out 40 in word form, it equals 84. Like how old the mom is right now. You know what will be interesting, though, Logan? I want to point it out. Is February 18th will be her 54th day of being 54. Will it wrap up on February 18th?
The Olympics?
No, the Nancy Guthrie thing.
Oh, this, yeah. I see what you're saying.
Because it'll be 47 days before the March Madness, the championship. It'll be 47 days before it. And, of course, Trump, he was in the headlines talking about he's going to send deploying federal agents to find her mother. And Trump equals 47. He's number 47, and his name I think it's Francis Bacon Gematria. His name equals 218. So there could be something. They could wrap it up on February 18th.
Yeah, this is one of the dumbest stories I think I've ever seen so far.
Yeah,
It's just it's a version of a story they always yeah, exactly. It's the big distraction story, and they almost always use a white blonde woman at the center of it.
And then they're using that elderly,
like the Matrix
blonde. Yeah,
and it makes no sense at all. Like, why would somebody like the person that abducts her is like such a like unskilled like moron that's like doing things completely wrong, but then somehow he's completely evading FBI law enforcement. Like, it makes no sense. It's retarded.
That's how you do it.
Exactly.
Like
you don't even know what your next step is, so they can't figure it out.
Did you see that he left a glove and they're finding
they're finding like all sorts of gloves now.
And look up glove is 74.
Sebastian, there could be some kind of O.J. Simpson joke with it too.
Yep. Yeah, the glove I think is an occult symbol.
Yeah. Oh, that's her father, huh? When is his birthday?
I don't know. Hold on, it might just be a different one. I think this is a different one, just weirdly enough.
Well, zoom in on that. Let's see. I'm curious on that. Let's see. Zoom in on that. Let's see.
It's a different dude.
Is that August 15th?
Glove is
so this 54. Guy died on August 21st. Yeah.
Glove is 20 and 25, like death.
You said glove or love?
Glove.
Oh, here we go. He does have at least like a mention in Wikipedia, but not his death day. Well, I guess it'd be 46 years into her age. So
the fact that
2017.
Oh, go ahead.
So he died in 2017.
That was wrong. That was Trump's first term in office, 2017. Might be something with that if we can find some information on this guy.
Yeah, it seems like the people they don't want seen. Let's just look at Charles. Oops. I mean, you're going to write a story about it. You think you'd have the date of death available. Is this the same guy? And then that's the other thing you get. That's not him, obviously. But there's another Charles Guthrie.
That's the CIA's birthday, by the way.
There's so many Charles Guthries, dude, bro. Which is interesting because I was kind of trying to like look up. By the way, like Australia is another province of, Great Britain or English Empire.
Yeah,
so,
you just had the Bondi Beach hoax there too. Covered that in a million ways.
Very Masonic lands. But that name, why I was interested is because her name, just with the Charles name. Let's see what Guthrie means.
I think there's even a Guthrie in Minnesota as well. Guthrie Theater.
Let's see. In Gaelic, it means windy place or windy spot. Windy spot. That sounds so modern.
Well, and then think
Pretty
about it.
windy
Comes during,
spot over there.
well, and think about it too. It comes during the time of winter when it's cold, windy. Getting the story. Can you look it up? Guthrie Theater, Minneapolis. Because somebody mentioned that there is a theater in Minneapolis named Guthrie.
Looks like it's a very famous name. It's a very famous British name, Guthrie.
The reason why I bring that up is because you have all this Minnesota crap going on, and then you have a Nancy Guthrie thing too. That's why I bring that up.
May 7th, 63.
The 127th day of the year, May 7th. Minneapolis equals 127.
Yep, there sure is though.
Yeah, Guthrie Theater. That's probably part of the joke too.
And she's definitely got the name, the famous name. So,
Yeah.
or at least the historically famous name. Just you can't even find her father because there's so many Charles Guthries that are going down in the history books. It's like, geez.
Yeah, they probably. I'm gonna say this, man. I do think that these people are aware that there's a community of people who look at stuff like this and decode it and put it together. And I think a lot of the times they hide information like that to make it harder for people like us to find the information and whatnot.
Absolutely. Early on in our well, this was personal research I was doing, and then like me and Austin made the podcast and everything, and I eventually tried to, during a show, look up. Let's see, what is it? Jet Propulsion Laboratories. Are you guys familiar with Jet Propulsion Labs? They have
like jet engines.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff for NASA, and but that's not it. That's not all they do. They have huge contracts, federal military contracts.
Oh, it's for missiles,
rockets, also
satellites,
cryogenic freezing.
Huh.
So let's see, labs. What is it? CEO or who owns it? His owner, NASA. Okay, maybe I'm doing this backwards. Okay, no. Sorry, no. They fund the cryonics. That's what it is. That's what I'm trying. Here we go. Cryonics Institute.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could also look into InQtel too and all the stuff they fund. I've been wanting to put together a program that can like look into all the different companies that they fund because there's actually a list, like it's public. And yeah, they're into stuff like this, like into AI. I'm sure this company's probably some stuff like this is in there.
Is this? I'm pretty sure this is the right one. Let me look up. Just Google cryonics founder. I wanted to bring this up. I thought it'd be easier. I wish I had like my original work just like saved somewhere. Robert Ettinger. Okay, but I'm pretty sure his wife took over the one I'm looking for is the one where his wife took over the business when he died. I thought cryonics sounds familiar. There are a couple different ones, but point being, I guess I'll try to double down on look at this. Either way, this guy's wife takes over the business, and I guess cryonics current owner. Sure. Is this Alcor? Fuck, dude. Good luck. It's kind of beating my initial point that you're right. It is hard to like look up anything specifically. But anyway, to my point, this lady, I was trying to do any kind of research I could do about her, but she has the exact same name as like one of the most famous female murderers ever. So good luck. Look, every time you go, there's no way you could find any information on her. It just brings up this lady who killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's gonna take you hours to try to find it.
it might be this Alcor Life Extension Foundation, and they do work with Cryonics Institute, and the Cryonics Institute is from Jet Propulsion Laboratories, but it has to do with like it was a small thing that finally got funding, and her husband died, and I don't think he was the first. He might have been the first one. Like they tried to cryogenically freeze, and he might still be according to the story, cryogenically frozen. But they finally got their. When I was researching them, they had like 5 people frozen. So this is very like new. They hadn't.
Well, you know, they
yet.
froze Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they had frozen mice in the 1950s, and when they could actually put them in suspended animation and bring them back.
Okay, this is it. I'm almost positive. Linda Chamberlain. Yes, this is this Alcor. You get this
Creighton,
Lindy
huh?
Chamberlain Creighton.
Creighton, that's the name of the Jesuit institution, Creighton.
But you get a bunch of different weird things with this Linda Chamberlain lady. Let's see. It's interesting. It said they have like hundreds of people frozen now. When I was researching just that not that long ago, they had like 3. I guess if you're more specific with Alcor, you'll get the initial things. I was trying to look into more about it because I mean, just look at this Alcor. I've read all the Alcor stuff. I wanted to look up other stuff. And there is another Linda Chamberlain who's like a child psychologist who wrote books too. So it's just like, interesting. Anyway, I guess if you just look up Linda Chamberlain, you'll get this other lady. When I was looking her up, this lady was coming up all the time, this Lindy Chamberlain. But anyway.
I just find it funny how the name Creighton's in there, and that's the name of the Jesuit institution.
Yeah. It is funny, her story too. She was like convicted of murder, but she said that a dingo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this might even be the story. Have you ever heard the saying, "The dingo ate my baby"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what this is actually from. So.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you look down there, I'm seeing the date February 7th. That's the 38th day of the year. February 7th, 1986.
I guess her charges were dismissed on that day.
They had to wait till the 38th day of the year to do that, huh?
She's born on March 4th as well.
Get that
She's
murder.
still kicking. She's 77 right now.
Murder equals 34 and 38.
Yep. She's a Kiwi.
Australia.
New Zealand.
New
Very
Zealand.
similar. But
Yeah.
just don't tell them that.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, they're similar, but don't tell them that.
They've been doing a lot of stuff with Australia, man. They've been overkill with it.
Yep.
With these hoaxes.
Well, like what? Am I missing something?
Yeah, they gave up their guns
Body
the first one.
Yeah.
The Port Arthur attacks. Port Arthur attacks were another hoax. By the way, the guy's name who did it equals the guy who did the Port Arthur attack. His name equals the same thing as Port Arthur.
I mean, I never actually like super got into this one. I do remember Zach covering it and everything like that. It's just that, to me, it's just like hilarious. You have like on the world stage, you have Pam Bondi being the like gatekeeper for these Epstein files, which are just in the news every single day. Bondi. Then there's a Bondi beach shooting. It's just like, what are the fucking odds?
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
Don't forget, I think it came on her 312th day of her age too. And then think
Let's
about
take a look at
that
this stupid
Trump
bitch.
thing. It came on George Washington's death anniversary.
I think that, you know what, I think that probably the Bondi Beach shooting was symbolic because since it was killing the Jews, and it was at Bondi Beach, and Bondi's a Zionist, like she was at the Israel whatever conference. And so
Yeah.
I think that was like foreshadowing that, like they
Some,
were
like, Muslims killing
like
Jews.
metaphorically shoot Bondi's reputation, like the whole thing on the Senate and all that stuff, that whole humiliation ritual
Well, it's also just
that happened
another
in Congress.
example for them to point towards Israel needing to be protected and expanded in the Middle East against the Muslim threat.
Yeah.
Because wasn't it a Muslim guy, or ISIS? They said he was.
Supposedly, yeah.
Who, like the guy who stopped him? Didn't he just run up to him and like just stop him instantly, like no
That
problem?
was a hoax. I mean,
It's
that
just
guy.
like, bro, what? You got a gun? How are you getting stopped? Like, I don't understand. Who's stopping you?
Did you see the media? Did you see the media? How they had a picture of the supposed hero, and supposedly I think the media blurted out, and it's like a guy standing next to him, and it's like it's quite clear the guy pouring the blood on the guy. Supposedly, it's like, come on. His name is Ahmed Al Ahmed. That's his name. Believable name.
Ahmed Al-Ahmed. Quick, guys, we need a name. We don't have time to think about this one. We didn't think about it. The guy who was supposed to make the name, he got sick. Yeah. He never sent it in. Ah, fuck. What's a good like Middle Eastern name, bro? Oh shit.
Ahmed Ahmed.
Ahmed? No, that's too easy. Ahmed Al-Ahmed? There it is.
Yeah, and you know what? That's how they look at the sheeple too. They're like, oh, look at these fucking idiots. We can just give them some bullshit ass name, and they're not even gonna question it. Not gonna question it at all.
At Archer Park, named after shooting.
Yeah, hunting. Has to do with hunting. But don't forget that shooting highlight with 41 all over. It happened on the anniversary of Sandy Hook too. Think about it. Sandy Hook, yeah. Sandy Beaches. On the 13-year anniversary, actually, 41 was the 13th prime. Supposedly the shooting came 41 weeks after the prime minister took office. The name of the shooter equals 41. Islamic State equals 41. Al Qaeda 41. And let's keep going here. Zionist 41. What do we call Newtown's located on the 41st parallel. Total joke. Total joke.
All honey or all sweetness. They love inverting the meanings of things.
Oh, they speak in opposites, right? I mean, the name symbolizes charm, gentleness, and virtue. Mm.
That's what I know. That's what we know her as.
Pam Bondi, the very charming person.
Yeah, right. She's like as cold as it gets looking, her character is.
Yep. It's like one of those witches. It's like a witch.
Yeah. Water breaking over rocks. The noise of water breaking on the beach. That's what Bondi means.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that Bondi Beach is named that. But
well, we just had the death of James Vanderbeek too, and on that same day you had Bondi Beach, or not Bondi Beach, Pam Bondi, in the headlines about Epstein Island, and coincidentally, it just happens to be an episode of I think it's Dawson's Creek. It's the 42nd episode. Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen Zach's video because he put up a video about it. Yeah, James Vanderbeek did on the 97th birthday of the Vatican, and by the way, the episode. Yeah, he died 25 days before his birthday, Vatican 25. But yeah, that episode, right? If you look it up, it's called Escape from Witch Island. It came out on her 34th birthday, that episode. And just think about that. So the same day he dies, she's in the headlines talking about another island, Epstein Island. Come on, man. And it had the same numbers all over, just in code all over. And again, he died on the 42nd day of the year. Vanderbeek, 42. She happens to be the 87th Attorney General. It happened on her 87th day of her age. Vanderbeek, 87.
And this whole soap opera with the Epstein files, how she's like, how they started off by like just dividing all the people, and Trump saying it's not a big deal, just drop it, and her saying like basically being like, yeah, I agree with you, but if they want it, I guess I'll give it to them, and then they just keep giving like redacted thousands of page redacted at a time.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like yeah. It's all redacted.
I wonder what this means for someone like Katie Holmes.
She's 47 years old right now too.
Yeah,
She'll turn 48. When is her birthday? I think it's.
She was married to Tom Cruise, wasn't she? Wasn't she
Yeah,
the
I
one
believe
that said
so.
that Tom Cruise got crazy with her?
Yeah, he's the one that pretty much said, "You're not doing any more sex scenes with my Katie."
Based?
And he died in
I mean,
Austin, Texas. He died in Austin, Texas. Come on now.
Nice little Jesuit nod there.
Yeah. Shout out to Austin. Yeah. Nice little Jesuit nod there. Jesuit town right there, Austin, Texas. I've actually been to Austin, Texas. Very weird little town.
Colon cancer, huh? What? I remember looking up colon cancer. They use this a lot.
59. It equals 59.
Yeah.
It's also 49. 33rd composite. 103 like Jesuits.
What's Dawson's Creek?
It equals Vatican.
Ah.
And it also equals Society of Jesus too. Right? I mean, 47, 70 like Vatican. The Pope's 70 years old right now.
What was up with James Vanderbeek? Is his background known like that? Is he open religiously?
I'm not sure what religion he's subscribed to, but
I mean, Vanderbeek, I would assume that's
Dutch.
Dutch. Yeah, I was going to say it's some sort of a
and
Nordic
just think about that too,
type.
right? So we're talking about the Dutch and stuff like that. When he died, right, it was around the same time the news cycle broke that the shooter, Jesse Van Rootselar, I believe that's his name. It was the Tumbler Bridge shooting, the shooter. And you'll never guess that, there's a Dawson's Creek in Vancouver, not Vancouver, but in what is it, British Columbia?
Yep.
And Dawson's Creek right there is located on the 97th Route 97 or whatever, and it's on the same day. On the 97th birthday of the Vatican, you get James Vanderbeek, and then you're getting Jesse Van Rootselar. And when you think about if you have a Van, if you think about Jesse Van or anybody with a Van in their name, you automatically think Dutch. You know what I mean? So the same day as a Dutch man dies, another Dutch man's getting caught supposedly or being identified on the same day. I mean, just what are the odds of that?
Yeah.
And the name Vanderbeek, I believe, has to do with water and creeks. And he's born in the time of Pisces, and Pisces is the water sign. He dies in the time of the Aquarius, and Aquarius is the water bearer.
From the book, Brooke, or from the stream, guys. This shit is fucked.
Hey, you know what? I was bringing this up on.
They care about this stuff a lot.
I was bringing up this stuff to Zach too. Like I was getting like kind of Jordan Maxwell with it because I was bringing up like, okay, he died. Okay, so he dies on the same day as the Seattle Seahawks. Their parade, right? So different type of C, right? SEA, and then he dies on the Holy See's birthday, SEE. Seeing with your eye. He was an entertainer. You seen him on screen.
And you put out a great video with the Seahawks. Was it the coach or no? It was like, who was it? Yeah, it was the coach, right? Talking about how there were so many of them lost their dads.
The GM, not the coach.
The GM, that GM. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
I wanted to say owner, but I knew. Yeah, Schneider.
Yeah.
German.
Yeah, I put out a short clip because somebody found it and they're like, hey, feel free to repost this on your channel. So I'm like, okay. So I reposted it, and I was like, but I watched it before I posted it on there. I'm like, come on, man, you got this guy who's pretty much fucking drunk. This dude was drunk. Like you could tell.
Yeah, they were all like drinking red Solo cups.
Yeah, drinking and shit. Dude had a couple of beers in him. Yeah, you could tell this dude was loaded. He was just saying shit like, if you're sober, you're not really gonna say shit like that. But this dude was just going off. He was just like, yeah, all these angels, man. Bobo lost his father. I lost my father. And he's like, everybody's just losing their father. I'm like, come on, how do people not see this shit, man? They're just literally telling you right in the open with it. But then obviously they gotta cover it up with, oh, the angels are watching over us. That bunch of bullshit. People are getting sacrificed. That's what it was.
Let's see if I can just look up his religion.
I believe he was raised Catholic. I could be wrong on that though. If he was Catholic,
It sounds Christian. For what he's saying, it sounds less Catholic than Christian, but odds are that it's Catholic with the Dutch.
Yeah. Well, the
Scottish,
Jesuits have an influence in the Netherlands too.
Yeah. I guess they always pass peacefully.
You know what's funny is they didn't have a cause. Like when they first reported his death, they didn't have a cause for it. It's like just some very vague. It's just like what they always do when these celebrities die. The cause of death is unknown, and then hours later, oh, he died of cancer. And Logan, that's always like that, isn't it? With these celebrities when they die, it's always oh, their cause of death is unknown.
Cancer is such a cop out too. It's such an easy thing to say. Cancer.
Yeah.
A lot of people they really just they don't know what cancer means. Cancer is a trick they play on us. That's the medical industry playing a trick on us about what that is. What cancer means is that your body is being there's something that's reached further, like there's something in your body that's not supposed to be there. It has reached the endocrine system or the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system, it deals with like it's think your liver is used to get rid of liquids. It filters like the liquids and gets the things out of it that way. Same idea. It's just your lymphatic system. It can be overran, and it can handle most problems. That's why most of us are still living, is because we're dealing with toxins every single day. But our lymphatic system can handle it. But if you're in bad health or you have another type of ailment or some sort of blood disease or something of that nature that causes you to have, like when you do get a infiltrator, some sort of like chemical infiltrator or genetic infiltrator, reach past because your body is basically just layers of protection. Like your skin is the outermost layer, and that'll stop most things. But once it gets past the skin, it can get into your bloodstream, and then once it's in your bloodstream, it has ways of filtering it through your bloodstream, and that's the lymphatic system. And yeah, I'm sure you guys have heard of like lymph nodes and stuff, and how they'll sometimes be inflamed or whatever. Well, most things your lymph nodes can handle, but the things that your lymph nodes don't handle, that's cancer. So it's like people will think of cancer as like specific things. It's not. It's one thing. It's your lymphatic system not being able to handle an infiltrating thing.
Right.
And so it's like cancer is a vague terminology that they use, but they make it seem like it's a specific terminology. Like breast cancer is like some different type of cancer. No, or like illness. No, it's lymphatic systems in your breasts not being able to handle an infiltrator. Just like your colon, just like anywhere else. It's
skin cancer and whatnot, all this type of stuff. They try to put it in, right? Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just an easy thing. They can just attribute anything to cancer, and people will believe it, and they'll tell you, there's a million reasons to get cancer nowadays too. And so that, people have it in their minds that like cancer is just like a step away. They're most likely probably going to die by cancer.
Look who's making the American Cancer Foundation is making a lot of money off it too.
I mean, chemo as a you don't find these things out till 20, 30, 40 years down the line as usual. Just wait for the Ozempic bodies to pile up.
Oh my God. Yeah. Don't even get me started on that. Yeah. These people. Yeah.
At least they'll be easier to deal with. That's fucked up. But anyway.
Yeah, between the jab and the Ozempic, there's who knows how much of the population is going to be left.
Good point. And the Mr. Beast snacks.
Yeah, the Mr. Beast, the Modi snacks of Mr. Beast. It's amazing how people just support that dude, man. It's insane. But most of his followers are little kids too. They're little dopey kids that don't know shit about it.
But that's the sad thing. Like you got to realize that I'm a parent of two, and one of those
Well,
kids
that's the
is that
future
age
generation.
of those dopey kids that are.
That's the future generation right there, Logan.
It's
That's
scary, dude.
that's the future right there. You know, that's you're right. It's fucking scary that these dopey little kids are. These are the same dopey little kids that are going around saying 6'7". They don't even know what it means. They're just laughing. Oh, it's so funny. Like, no, it's you guys are saying two numbers you don't even know the meaning of. And
Absolutely.
the media wants to paint people like me. Oh, you kooky weirdo. Oh, I'm a kooky weirdo for showing people that what this number really means. Yeah, she's 40. She'll turn 48. You know what? He died 80 days after her birthday, and Satan equals 80 as well. Her full name also equals 80. Or I believe she died. No, I take that back. He died 55 days after her birthday. 55 days after her birthday. Her name equals 80, like Satan equals 55 and 80. Like Baphomet.
Absolutely. And 64, interestingly enough. 260
Yep.
is kind of interesting too.
Well, 26 is all like 26, the year we're in.
Yeah.
And he died. He died. You could also say died a span of 26 days before his birthday. Cancer equals 26. Funny enough, Bondi equals 44 and 26, the same as Cancer.
Look out, Pam.
Yep.
That sweet, all sweetness Cancer. Maybe you
I
find out
wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised the CIA has some kind of gun where they just shoot these toxins into people either. Because I mean, it's been on record.
I think it's activating. I think that what we consume all day long are things that are benign until activated, and that's why they call like certain cancers benign. Is because you have it, but not until it's activated with like mercury or something. You know, something else.
Right.
Just throwing that out there, not for any specific reason, guys. But
not to scare anybody, but I'm just we're just saying, hey.
But yeah, I think it's activated, and depending on your health, that you know.
Right.
That's why old people had such a hard time dealing with it. It was because they're in declining health. They don't bounce back as quickly.
There's some old people out there though, man, that live a long time. They live longer than half of these celebrities, man. I got an aunt. She's about 93 years old. She's still sharp as a tack. You know what I mean? And it's like, so a lot of these celebrities are dying from certain illnesses and stuff like that at young ages. But again, my aunt's at 93 years old, going to be 94, still sharp as a tack, and she's still kicking. I mean, people don't even question these things. That's the problem. People don't even question these things. How is a 48-year-old man just dying of cancer, just out of nowhere, on the Vatican's birthday, nonetheless?
A rich man who had every opportunity to be cured.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these people that have you're gonna sit there and tell me James Vanderbeek didn't have any money in his savings account? That's bullshit.
You got to realize too that they use these stories as more fear mongering. It's like, man, even these rich people couldn't take care of this cancer. I'm screwed.
You know what's wild about that too is just because, like, the poor, if you want to say, poor people, they go out of their way to try to get, the help that they need or whatever. And they spend all this money going to these, universities and stuff like that, or these medical centers and whatnot to try to get this stuff taken care of. But yet you have these celebrities just out of nowhere, just dying at weird age or, young ages and dying of weird circumstances. I mean, that's. I don't know. I don't know, man. These people. It could be. You know what? I'll say this.
You mentioned Satan. It was 55 days. Her birthday was 55 days from his death.
Yeah, Satan equals 55 and 80. Satan. Yep. 35 as well. Holy Seat 35, like Catholic. Like I was just talking about the whole Holy Seat. I mean, just think about that too. Just to get astrological with it. By the way, astrology equals 48. By the way, him dying at 48. But again, this man, what are the odds? Okay, what are the odds that on? And think about it. His death. He also died at 48, like Whitney Houston, who also died on the same day in history in 2012, 12 years ago. I mean, come on, man. I mean, in a bathtub at age 48, and she was known as The Voice, and The Voice equals 42. She just happens to die on the 42nd day of the year in Black History Month. She had 181 days before her birthday, which is the 42nd prime. But now talking about that, Now we get this man who played in Dawson's Creek, right? And his last name literally means creek with water, has a lot to do with water. I mean, just what are the odds, right? Again, the same day as the Seahawks having their parade. Again, sea, different type of sea, water. On the Holy Sea's birthday, SEE, like how you see with your eye. This man dies on that same day, and he's born in Pisces, which is the water sign.
The
And
pilot
or
for
actually, he didn't
Dawson's
die.
Creek.
He's born in the time of Pisces. He's born in the time of Pisces, and dies in Aquarius, which is the water bearer. By the way, the word
That's
water used in
very
satanic.
that's
Go ahead.
very symbolic too, with like Jesus too. Jesus is associated with those two signs as well.
With water, he's associated with water, right? Doesn't he? Suppose he walks on water, doesn't he? When you're giving
Absolutely.
birth, when a woman is
Also, the
giving birth,
fish sign Pisces. You know, he fed all those
mm-hmm.
people with the never-ending fish.
The fish, yep. Mm-hmm.
But
the Society of Jesus.
yeah, check this out. Like the first episode, the pilot episode of Dawson's Creek was January 20th, like 201.
Yeah, the 201st day, the 201st day of the nation's age, and that's also inauguration day.
Also, like 20/1. Interesting.
Yep. Get that 201 in there. Curious, how many days is that? Let's see. How many days from that? I believe. I think Zach covered it. Maybe I covered it too, but that's her birthday.
Whoops.
2/11. 22 days. Oh, okay, yeah. And Dawson, just Dawson alone equals 22.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. This is just, it's elementary, but at the same time, it's just like, you shouldn't need people to come through with the numbers.
Then he died. I want to add on to your point. And then he dies on 59 date numerology, colon cancer 59, colon 59. I mean, Freemasonry is 59. Dies on the 42nd day of the year. Freemason 42. I mean, this stuff is not an accident, man.
Were you a big Dawson's Creek fan, Sebastian? You're pretty quiet over there. Hopefully you're not crying in your pillow. Maybe we lost him.
Yeah, it's just you know what I find weird too is speaking of Dawson's Creek, we just had the actress from Schitt's Creek die. Before him, it was what's her name, Catherine O'Hara.
What?
And she died. Huh?
I don't know if I know about this.
Has that covered it?
Oh, yeah. From the Home Alone mom.
Home Alone, yeah. And what's his name? Donald Trump comes out in the second one, and she just happens to die 71 days
after
the anniversary of that. She dies at 71 on the same day as Kevin gets.
Yeah, I also think about that too. A kid home alone and Trump's in the movie with it. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, don't they live on what is it, House 666 or something like that? In Chicago. Speaking of all the Chicago stuff, from the Pope, the Charlie Kirk, all this stuff.
It says 671, but in the movie they might change the.
I believe so, yeah. Just type in 666 if you could. Unless they changed it. That's what's wrong with the internet too, is they changed all the information on there. Like some stuff you'll find years back, you'll find it, and then years later you'll go back and look at that same stuff. It's not there anymore. It's like they purposely scrub it away.
Whatever. But of course, Macaulay Culkin being one of those child stars, along with like Corey Haim and who's the other Corey Feldman that were.
Yep.
That talked a lot about how the industry kind of.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I can't. His name's Corey something.
Corey Haim is I think Corey Haim died. But Corey Feldman is the one.
By the numbers, yeah. Corey
Feldman's like going on tour right now with like a band.
Pull out my post on Corey Haim. I did a post on Corey Haim.
What's interestingly is there's a NASCAR driver with him.
Well, there's another guy in the supposed community too. His name's Joey Haim. I'm pretty sure you've heard about him. heard of him. Conspiracy Joey. He's like to say that people are shapeshifters.
Ooh. Oh, did I spell his name wrong?
Makes gematria look bad.
It's not
Uh,
Haim.
no, it's
Let
Corey.
me
I think it's
double
with
check.
the E-Y.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, Corey Haim. You had the spelling right.
Okay, yeah, you're right. EY.
Yeah, he died at 38. And look what his funeral was. It was the 16th of the third month, 16/3, 38th prime. But yeah, go down a little bit more. There's more to it, obviously. Hey, he died at 38. Again, Corey Haim equals 97. Like death is 38, 97. 163 is the 38th prime. The funeral was on the 16th of the third month. His name also has some fateful gematria. It has the 121 and 67, like blood sacrifice. Corey Feldman, who still lives, has that 121 gematria in his
And
name.
that's what Feldman says too. He says his death was a sacrifice to the industry, and that they
Yeah,
were doing terrible things to him and raping him and stuff like that, and molesting
yeah.
him,
You know what? And that
as
was
well
one.
as him.
I did that post around the same time that news was coming out. But yeah, he died 77 days after his birthday, or 11 weeks. The square root of 121 is 11. Corey Ian Haim, 77. Like Haim alone, 77. Yeah, there's probably more to that. Oh yeah, Zionists and Judaism are 77. 34 weeks after Corey Feldman's birthday. Both, think about it, two Coreys, right? Two Coreys. They had that show on A&E. Two
Yep.
Coreys.
Of course, Feldman being in the Goonies too, probably his most popular movie.
And you know what? That last episode that they came out in, I think it's in that post. If you can scroll down a little bit more, I think I put it in there. Hopefully, I did. The last episode.
Crash.
Yeah, Crash.
Wow.
And that last episode was on the 17th of the 8th month, and Kabbalah 78 or 178 and 38. Dead at 38. Well, Kabbalah, but and Jew equals 38 like
And
gematria.
Feldman's Jewish, right?
I believe so, yeah.
I would assume just by the
Or
name.
you know what? No, Corey Haim's Jewish as well. I think the last name Haim is Jewish.
Okay. That's interesting because there's a band called Haim. I think it was like an all-female band.
I think I've heard of that. Yeah, I think I've heard of it. Yeah, Haim. Danielle Haim. I wouldn't be surprised they're Jewish too.
I would assume. Looks like she's definitely a nose job here, but this one's less of the nose job there.
Yeah, Corey Haim died by the numbers, man. He went out by the code, no doubt about it. And at 38, I mean, come on, 38. Just a recurring number with all these people when it comes to them dying. Just 38 everywhere. If not 38, it's 83, 79, 34, 44. It's all this stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
he was Jewish. Yep. I didn't decode his Hebrew name. I did not decode that at all. I should have decoded it.
Yezekol Yehuda.
His mother was Israeli, and yep.
Okay.
His father worked in sales, huh?
Got the 260 like 26. Got the 60.
62, sacrifice 62. 172, Admirum de Gloriam.
Let's check out just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, Jewish gematria. Another cipher I like to look at is single reduction. Single reduction has a lot of. I've been looking at that cipher a little bit more now. Just single reduction. Got the 82. I think that's the S exception. I think it's the S is in the word. Like Society of Jesus, Society of Jesus equals 83 in that cipher. And supposedly if you watch, there's a Jesuit documentary out there on YouTube. It's like a 2-hour documentary. Supposedly they got kicked out of 83 countries. And I don't think that's an accident, them putting that in there. Society of Jesus equals 83. I mean, they've been kicked out of more countries than just 83 countries. But they had to get that into the 83.
And then Corey Feldman, I think the last thing I saw is like he did the like podcast tour where he was going off about the industry, but I think now he's just like a musician going around like singing.
No, he's 54
He's
right
50.
now.
Yeah, he's 54.
Better watch out. He's 54 years old.
Yes, absolutely.
If not, he better watch out at 56 because.
His
Oh
son,
shit! Wait. When is his birthday? Hold on. Go back to his birthday real quick. Hold on.
July 16th.
Oh, okay. I thought it was July 18th. I was about to say you better watch out at 56.
Oh, 167.
But his son's birthday is the anniversary of the Jesuits coming out of suppression, August 7th.
How
2004.
you're cooked. You're cooked if you're Corey Feldman's son.
Oh, he's 21 years old right now. So
Yeah,
he just
21.
he just turned 21 last year. Does he have any other sons? I wonder if he has any. I'm pretty sure he
It
does.
says he only has one child, but who knows?
That's kind of rare in the entertainment industry. Usually, these people have about 8 kids and whatnot. But
It's the Susie Feldman.
she's born on June 7th, huh? June
7th.
Yep. Did Corey Haim was he married by chance, or I didn't really. I just know he had those shows on A&E. I know he had the show with Corey Feldman on A&E, but I don't know about his personal life or whatnot. Because I could have looked at that.
I'll just trust Wikipedia if they say he was married at all. Doesn't say he was married.
Interesting.
I'll just Google it though.
I know he made his name in the Lost Boys too. In the film The Lost Boys.
That's interesting too. That's like vampires, isn't it?
I believe so.
Oh, that's like Kiefer Sutherland, right? Am I tripping on that one?
I haven't watched it in some years, so I would know.
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Feldman was in that as well.
Yeah, Feldman did come on.
The Lost Boys had Corey Haim and Corey Feldman in it.
Yeah.
All right, you see the jokes.
Yeah, I see it.
I did not know. Also, this lady's weird too. She's in a lot of stuff. This Jamie Gertz chick. She's in a lot of stuff. I did not know both were in it.
I didn't know they were both in it either. I thought it was just
about vampires. And just think about it, dude. Just think about it. Oh man.
I wonder what his gematria of his character is. I know he plays. Was it Sean Emerson or whatnot? Sean Emerson.
Well, I might be wrong. Is this the one about vampires? Maybe not. I might be thinking of a different movie, honestly.
Look what date it came out though. Look at the date. July 31st. Does that ring any bells to you, Logan? I'll give you a hint. It has a lot to do with the founder of the Jesuits.
Is it when he was made superior general or Cannonball Day?
No. That's when he died.
Oh, it's the death anniversary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, he was made superior general on April 19th.
That's April 19th Foundation Day. I knew that.
April 19th, and then it's just like when you it's like I already know all these things because I've been just seeing all this stuff for years and just same old dates. You just man, yeah, July 31st. That's a very infamous day. Roddy Piper, huh? Who could ever forget Roddy Piper?
Yeah, no, it is the vampire movie. I'm tripping. Yeah, it is. It is the vampire movie. I don't think I ever watched it. I think my sister watched it. She used to rent movies from the library all the time, but I don't think I ever watched this movie. But
I think they used to have it in Blockbuster too. Blockbuster Video used to have it.
Hell yeah.
Remember Blockbuster Video back in the days? Used to rent video games from there.
Me as well. 56.
Got that 56. It also has the 43.
The 43, yeah.
37. 33rd prime. Faithful number. Well, those are very Masonic numbers. I'll say that. 43, 56, Masonic 43. Freemason's 56.
Freemason.
Freemason. Freemasons, I think. Or, yeah, I got 43 and 56 in there. Yep. You know what's funny? If you just type in Freemason in the English extended cipher, I think it's the yellow cipher there, standard. It equals 357. And in Freemasonry, there's something called the 357 rule as well.
Let's take a peek.
Yeah, it's about the yeah.
Exactly.
It's about
This is Jacob's ladder.
Yeah. Yep. And just think about it too, man. I mean, come on, 357. It has a lot to do with numbers. There's literally 3 numbers there. Come on, people are using numbers. But yeah, Freemason.
7 represents geometry and arithmetic. Okay. And grammar. So it's like a language of.
Well, then G, right?
Mathematical.
You know, geometry and grammar, they both start with the letter G. And again, G's the 7th letter of the alphabet.
So there you go. There's something I did not know, that they had something like I'd always associated it just with, I've heard it called Jacob's ladder. I've heard, I did know that it was about them taking the fellow craft steps. I knew about this, about them reaching the different levels of masonry, but I never knew it had a 357 rule. That now I'll know. Now I'll know to call it that and to think of it that way.
Yep. Yeah, and there's no accident because I mean, come on, Freemason equals 357. There's, the 357, which looks a lot like 357.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, sometimes I'll just do that. Like I'll find stuff. Like I'll just, see, I don't want to say that because then people are like, oh, so you're cherry picking, but sometimes I mess with the calculator a little bit, and I'll be like, oh, let's see, it's interesting. Like I didn't know there was a 96-degree masonry. I didn't know that. I didn't know it went that high. It's actually called the Memphis Rite. The Memphis Rite of Masonry.
Oh yeah, I want to say that there's different sects that have gone higher.
Yeah,
but I don't think that they're necessarily esteemed the same way. But yeah, the Memphis Rite is big. Dale in the community, he emails me a bunch. He knows a good amount about the Memphis Rite. I've looked into it.
He can tell me a little bit more about it. I found out because of it was like an ex-Mason, supposedly. I can't think of the guy's name, but he did an interview with some guy on YouTube, and they got all kinds of views. And he was talking about there's other rites other than just the Scottish Rite. There's other. He was talking about Manly P. Hall and all these occultists and whatnot. But he also said he also tried to get into the Church of Satan as well. All this type of stuff. But yeah, I didn't know that up until last year. That there was a 96 degree of the Memphis Rite. I did not know that. And it makes sense too, right? I mean, Freemason does equal 96.
Yep. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say just real quick. Memphis is the Mizraim Masonic Rite, combining esoteric spirituality with humanitarian ideals. Yeah, I'm sure. Created in Naples. Okay.
Oh, yeah, Naples. Yeah, I think of Naples, you think about Italy, right?
Yeah.
Where some of the mafia came out of too. Naples, Italy.
I always forget about Milan.
There's also a Naples, Florida as well.
Yep. And Florida is very Roman. Like the architecture there is insane. Not to mention all the underwater buildings that they're always uncovering in Florida. Like, have you seen those things? Like the largest, like they say it's just natural forming, but it's like people are saying it's Atlantis because it's literally like cut rock.
I've heard people
like
say that,
huge megalithic cut rocks underneath, and you can swim underneath of them and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard the tales and stories.
It's called like the walkway or the step. I can't remember what they call it. But yeah, Florida is a crazy state as far as like when you want to talk about like.
Very Masonic is Florida.
Yes, of course. And you wonder why it's so Masonic. It's because Masons are the ones that founded this country. They're going to each end of the earth looking for treasure, basically, and the treasure does not mean riches. It doesn't. The riches to them is knowledge. It's not. It's ways to just imagine if normal people happen. That's why they give us movies where the normal person happens upon the magical thing. That's never going to happen. The Smithsonian's got it all, bro. But
the Smithsonian's, the Vatican, they have it in their little layer there. I mean, yeah, you're right on that with that. Yeah.
But that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like you were saying, the Memphis rite is the Egyptian Freemasonry. I was gonna point that out to anyone who's confused. It's like, it's not Memphis in America. Yeah. It's not Memphis, Tennessee. But then again, you got the Bass Pro Shop. We talk about that. We had a whole episode on the Bass Pro Shop and the esoteric nature of it and where it's located and what it's on. It's on an Indian burial ground. That area in Tennessee is like, it's like between 3 states, has the most amount of what they call burial mounds in America. It's just dotted with them all along the river there. And you just think about the biblical description of the Nile River and things of that nature, or the Tigris River. Mm-hmm. It kind of fits the American river system a lot more than it does anywhere out in Africa. It's kind of interesting.
Yep.
But peep their symbology. Of course, you got the 8-pointed star.
Yep.
Compass. You got the Roman. You think about stuff like that.
The great work symbols in there too.
They got the Roman architecture. Got the Ouroboros. I mean, they're just fitting. It's just like, it's almost like a shit post.
It's like,
if you think about it,
put together. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like piling it on.
Yep. I'm surprised they didn't put a little Jesuit logo there in the middle. I'm surprised they didn't do that.
What is this cross with a stamp? I don't know if I've seen that.
It looks a lot like the. It's not. I wouldn't say it looks exact like a Templar cross, but it looks something like it.
That's actually something I don't think I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either. There's also something called Order of the Rosy Cross as well.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Masonic cross with stamp. This seems like they were kind of going for that.
Got the roses on it to represent secrecy.
Yeah. It's fitting we end up talking about Masonry, and this is another thing that's kind of just larger than life. It's a honeypot for conspiracy theorists, they like to call us. Yeah. And that's not to say that there's a reason you should know about these systems and you should know about this, but it really is like a never-ending thing. We're never going to be able. I shouldn't say we're never going to be able to, because honestly, these guys own buildings.
Right.
We own this world. Yeah. We should be. We need one of these days. It's kind of a meme going around right now. People realizing they have free will. Have you seen any of those memes where it's just like you wake up one day and remember you have free will? So you just go like walk into a business that's like behind the scenes. You'll just go like walk into the back of a kitchen somewhere and just start talking to people.
Yeah, I think I've been counting some of those.
There's like this one famous one with like a girl walking into a garage late at night with like a guy working on a car and just starts talking to him and like grabbing his drill and like messing with him. She's like, bro, what the fuck? But the whole premise is like you wake up and realize it's like a video game. It's like a first person like video game. Like you wake up and realize you're the main character basically.
Yeah. I mean that's the problem. There's people out there who think that we live in a simulation, and the problem with that thinking is like in a simulation you don't have free will.
It'd be nice is if we had the cheat codes to their brain so we could like activate them and get have a standing army to take on these bullshit buildings that are at the epicenters of all of our states and cities, and
it has
get to the bottom of this shit.
What has to go in America is this federal government, and then on top of that, what has to go is the state government, because you can't have the federal government gone and then the state government just around. You just can't. They both.
But I say we take it over. I don't want to destroy the buildings. The buildings are pretty sick. I actually appreciate the buildings.
No, it's not. It's not trying to destroy the buildings. It's more.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like in whatever doing what we have to do. Let's try to maintain the buildings.
Yeah, we just got to get the people up in there, up out of there. I mean, throw them in wood chippers or You know, get
Make
rid
the
of.
whole country what's that thing they did in Seattle?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Can't remember the stupid name of it, but of course they always attribute like dorky, shitty names so that people can't like really attach to it.
Yeah.
God, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Shit. Because they did something similar to that in Oregon as well. It just wasn't as well publicized as the one in. Oh my God! It just keeps coming to me and leaving. But anyway, yeah, something's got to be done, and I think we all know it. Anybody who's watching, especially anybody who's made it this far, I think we all know it. Something's got to be done.
Yep.
Yep. We can. It's relatively easy to get on here and talk about it.
Yeah.
But this is really the first. I don't know how you feel about it, Rich, and I'm curious, but I'll get your take on it after this. When I talk to Austin, when me and Austin talk about it, what we really think about it is like this kind of like the first step for us. And there's certain things that we already do in our lives, and for me, it's raising my kids a certain way as well, and seeing the flaws in my upbringing and the upbringing of kids nowadays, and just the lack of parenting and things of that nature. So I'm looking to fix those errors in the timeline, if you will. And for Austin, when we first got together first talked to each other on the phone, and by the way, I don't know if you know our story that well, but it was days later. We finally got each other's numbers after meeting in Portland, and within I think a week, maybe tops, we were already streaming filming our first episode. We were just like gung ho, and we still are, and we still have that. It's what I refer to it as is it's a call. It's like in my brain, I can't turn this shit off. I think everybody has a ringing in their ear to pick up the phone. Like that's just the way I put it. Is like there's somebody calling and you're just ignoring the call. Like everybody's just walking around ignoring the call, but everybody's getting called. We all have a calling to do something, and I think you just got so many people that can suppress it and ignore it. But and that's what, and the last thing I want is it to lead to some sort of like superiority complex. It does kind of come out that way, though. I think you'll feel the same way about this, but sometimes it does come out as a superiority complex, because what I see is like what I could have been and what I kind of was if I just kept going. And like, how do you just keep going? But because I've escaped it, so to speak, I can never like see it that way again. Like I can never just imagine myself just saying like, you know what, fucking, I'm just gonna go along to get along like I was doing. And so you have this like, because I'm superior to what I was going to be. So I'm thinking about what I could have been myself, but I do apply that to the modern person. So because they're doing what I would have been doing had I not snapped out of it and answered the call. And so just being on here doing a YouTube channel, it probably is pretty low on the rung of things that we could be doing to flip the script on these on the Jesuits and the Vatican and this whole system, the federal government, obviously, but it is our expression of doing that. And like I said to Austin, and me and him feel the same way about it. It's like, it's one thing to have people feel the same way, but it's like, we need able people. We can't just look over and see a bunch of people in wheelchairs and fat and way past their prime and just now waking up when they're elderly and say, let's go do it. Let's take this gang and overthrow it. There's a sense of realistic, logic that we need to apply to this movement. And so as much as I'd love to, already have the basis to do something about what's happening right now, the best thing I have is my voice, unfortunately, and my ability to instill the next generation with an appreciation and a understanding of what this world really is and how to navigate it. And if that day comes for them, that they'll be more prepared than the person next to them, or if all goes to plan, there'll be a lot more prepared people because I will have inspired more people to inspire more people.
Right. Right. No, I get what you're saying. It's just like, when I put out these decodes and whatnot, it's not because, I got inspired. Zach. I'm not gonna lie. Zach inspired me to start my own blog because I seen he was putting it out, and I was like, well, you know what? If he can do it, why can't I help out and add on to some of this stuff? Maybe he's not covering some. Maybe I covering or whatever. So that's I got inspired by him to start my own blog, and I started doing it. You know what I mean? I started doing my own stuff and putting blog posts together and whatnot. I started doing that, and I started gaining my own following. I started people subscribing to me. But the reason why I do it is just because first and foremost, the reason why I do it is just to put it out there every day and get people to watch it, but also just to have examples, examples of proof. Okay, like this person's dead at 47, this actor or whatever, synced up with this actor. We talked about it, 6 years ago or whatnot, and here we are again talking about the same thing. And the thing is about people too, people got to stop being willfully ignorant. There's a lot of people out here who are just willfully ignorant. They have their head up their rear end. They can't admit that they've been conned. See, that's the problem. And like I was saying, I thought a couple years ago, I thought maybe people didn't want to see it or they couldn't see it. But now I'm at the point where people can, I'm in the belief system like, okay, I think people can see it. They just don't want to see it. And it's a choice. They're choosing not to see it. It's just like we're talking about James Vanderbeek. He dies in a clear ritual. I'm showing how it's clearly a ritual synced up with the Superior General, the Pope, the Seattle Seahawks, and all this stuff going on, and showing how it's synced up with Whitney Houston, how he dies on the anniversary of her death, as she died in a bathtub with water, and he dies in clearly a similar ritual, not the same, but how his name means creek, and how he came out in the show Dawson's Creek, and he's born in Pisces, which has a lot to do with water, and dead in the time of Aquarius, the water bear and whatnot, and how they're pretty much putting the rituals together, and the fact that you point that out to somebody, you point that out to your NPC or normie or whatever you want to call them, retard, dunce, you point that out to them, they're just like, what do these two things got to do with each other? And then you're showing them this stuff. It's like, okay, so I went over this, and then you can go over with it slowly with them, and they still come to the realization of like, okay, what do these two things got to do with each other? And it's like, okay, I just explained to you what these rituals got to do with each other, and all of a sudden you just again, it's a choice. You're choosing not to see it because obviously, in my mind, if somebody came up to me and told me that, I'd be like, you know what, that is interesting. I got to look into that. I got to see what's going on. This is mind blowing stuff. But then again, you got people who are programmed to think that these certain things are kooky, weird. These things aren't going on anymore. This might have happened in this civilization, but it's not going on anymore. That's bullshit. You've been programmed to think that way. And that's what I'm trying to do over here is trying to break the program, trying to break people to stop going along with this shit. Stop going along with the next. That's why, sometimes I even go outside and I'll go talk to people on the side of the street corner, and I'll teach this information to them all day if I have to, because I get tired of seeing how we get mocked every fucking day. Every day, Logan, every day we're getting mocked. We're getting mocked all the time. And people just can't see through the mockery. And they're listening to the wrong people. They're listening to, listening to Donald Trump. They're listening to CNN and Fox News for their. I mean, come on, give me a break. This stuff is a joke. You know what I mean? And just to see how from the coronavirus we got mocked up our ass to right now. I mean, it's a joke. So yeah, the whole point of me doing this is just to try to wake people up and try to get people to see the forest for the trees, but also build a community of like-minded people. I have a community of like-minded people who are around and support me and share my videos, and I appreciate that. And I also appreciate you guys. You guys always shout me out, and I'm, always on here. So I appreciate that.
I mean, you do great work, and like
Yeah.
I'll explain, like Zach might be, in my opinion, like the kind of like the foundational.
Yeah. Yeah, and just
like
to add on to
member.
that point, there's a lot of people here who talk shit about Zach. Oh, and they'll do like their gematria decodes and whatnot. They'll put their work out there, but they'll just talk shit about the man they learned from. It's like, how are you going to talk shit on the man you learned from? Now, I'm not saying you have to agree with Zach on everything that he says. I'm not saying, oh, you just got to, agree with everything he says. But I mean, how can you talk shit about somebody when you literally learn from them? That's most people who learn gematria, they learn from him, and they don't want to admit that. They want to say, "Oh, I know gematria before that." I tend to think that's bullshit.
And it's clearly a bunch of people. I mean, some of them have met him and still went on to those people are clear agents, but because I've met the man and he's as advertised. I would say different in person in the good way. Not to say that it's a bad way, not in person. I appreciate his rhetoric and antics and things of that nature. I mostly appreciate his knowledge, and that's what he puts out most of. So if you want to complain about the 10% because you don't want to see the 90%, then that's on you. But like I was going to say is like you cover those blind spots because nobody can do it all. And
and think about it, Zach's one man. You know what I mean? Zach, and then think about it. Zach right now he has a family. You know what I mean? He has a daughter and he has a wife to tend to. So obviously he can't be on here all day just putting out information and stuff like that. So that's why I try to help him out with certain things. Certain things he might not be aware of. I'll put it out there, and there's other people out there. Arthur from Simple Truth. He puts out work too and does information and puts out knowledge and stuff, but. Like you just said, it's going to take more than one person. It's going to take more than one person. It's going to take more than you, me, anybody else out there. It's going to take a community of people. And it has to be more than just one person. It can't just be Zach. It can't just be me. It has to be a lot of people in order for something to change. Something has to give, is what I'm trying to say. And if people don't stand up, go ahead.
Not to give the wrong idea with my little monologue there. Arrogance, I think, is necessary. I think we're much too passive and much too willing to take to be.
We're way too nice. We're way too nice. That needs to stop. Like people need see that's the problem with people too. They're programmed to they'll listen to somebody if they're in a sports coat or a suit and tie, a tuxedo, dresses really nice and talks really nice and talks soft and monotone. That has to stop. People gotta, and that's what they've raised. They've raised a bunch of soft ass pussies who can't just, as soon as somebody like Zach, presents information and gives them knowledge, and then he goes off on a rant that's true, they don't want to hear it. Already they turned it. Oh, I don't want to hear that. I heard the information, but I had to stop at the rant. It's like, just listen to what the man's telling you. Just listen to what he's telling you. He's giving information. And here's the thing too about gematria. Don't just take his word for it. Look it up. Research it yourself. Apply it yourself. You'll understand. And if you do that, then I think you'll understand what we're talking about. You know what I mean?
It sure as hell didn't take me long.
Right.
I was able to.
Yeah, me neither, man. I mean,
a lot of it had to do with my immediate area and the narratives on my towns, surrounding towns, and things of that nature. Of course, I was in Portland at the time, so. Yeah. Portland's a large U.S. city, with a lot of history. Yep. So I was able to, cross-reference a lot of this stuff, the founding of it, and it's clear that they've been doing this a long time with a well-oiled machine.
They established it in a very Masonic ritual. It was established on the day leaving the 58th day of the year, and the name of the man who it was founded and named after, his name equals 58. So it's like, come on, man. You're going to sit there and tell me that they're not doing this shit when they've been doing this shit for a long time now. And it's not just these big areas. It's these small little rural towns.
Absolutely. Speaking of, it's like one of the ones I had to do with our mayor at the time. And there was a whole rabbit hole of conspiracy, but he's named after a town that his grandfather founded. Yeah. They had a whole conspiracy as the town equals 201, all this good stuff. And I'm not just 201, but you'll be surprised how many come up. It seems like that it's a fingerprint thing, just like
or 74. That's another infamous number is 74 or 58 or 47. That's a number. Those numbers come together all the time.
I mean, like in NASCAR, just in the name NASCAR, they got the 56 in there, and it might seem like interesting. I mean. Founded by Jim France. So it's clear to me in Austin, and we talk about it all the time, but in going through each race, I'm very new to NASCAR. I'm outside looking in. Austin knows a bunch about it. And me and him were just able to, meld our both of our understandings together. Cause I have sports rot brain. I remember watching Sports Center every day, and I was subconsciously remembering the loop that they put you in. but now I'm outside of it and I'm able to like remember like how they say, how they push narratives. And
Yeah.
that's what I was basically applying narratives to the knowledge that Austin had and the knowledge we were looking up. And that's why we were able to call so many races last year. But yeah, almost every single
having a brain.
town.
Logan, that's called having a brain and having imagination and putting two and two together and using knowledge and using it in a smart way. There's a lot of people who bitch and complain, oh, I can't win anything with this knowledge. It's like, that's because you don't have a brain. You're not using your brain. You're just. I think so many people have the problem they have is they want people to tie their shoes for them. A lot of people look at Zach and they want him to tie their shoes for them. It's like, dude, listen to what he's saying, apply the information, come to your own conclusion, and if you see a good narrative, if you feel that's the right narrative to go with that. But it's just annoying when people are just like, oh, I lost a lot of money with Zach. I think he's some kind of scammer. It's like, no, you're not using your brain. You're wanting somebody to tie your shoes for you. Be an adult. You know what I mean? Grow up.
It's almost a, borrow from the biblical parable, but it's much easier. It's much better to learn the craft than to just be given something,
right? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what's wrong with some people too. They just, like I just said, they want their shoes tied with it too. And it's like, look, dude, you gotta again, just pay attention. Just pay attention, and with
that's
time,
a big ask nowadays.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you'll learn. You know what I mean?
But that is a big ask. Attention spans are minuscule.
Especially nowadays. Now with this generation. I mean, attention
tablet
span,
brain.
Yeah, brain rot. It's just brain. And just think about that wording too, brain rot. And people made it like, oh, it's this funny thing. It's like, no, it's stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a physical rotting of the brain happening. Like I know,
I'm pretty sure there is. I'm pretty sure
like it's dying. I think the synapses are closing off, and when it's not used correctly, it'll be like, okay, we're not using the intelligence part. We're going to shut that thing down so that we can focus more on the.
Well, I mean, what do you think they have TikToks and all this stuff easily available for everybody on their phone? I mean, it's just a no-brainer right there. Huh?
Flashing colors for the kids to stare at all day, and
yep. Short videos, short form videos with just nothing being said, nothing of value even being said. That's why, like, when I was growing up, I never had a short attention span. I always paid attention to things. Most of my peers, they're mostly just focused on other shit that didn't even matter. It's like, oh, I'm more focused on real issues, not bullshit. You know what I mean? That's why in high school, I took a debate class, and it's like I see all these fucking retards trying to debate certain issues. Like, even at that time, I was like, you do know these elections are rigged, right? You know what I mean? And it's like, I wish I knew back then. I would have known gematria, and I would have been like, gotta break out the gematria knowledge of these people.
And it's just too bad too, because like I've always viewed things like debate class and like speech writing in school as kind of a way of forcing the kids that would go on to be able to lead people to conform and use their skills and talents at speech craft and turn that towards public speaking for the enemy. And so they'll reward the people that can. They'll reward the people that can espouse what they tell them to espouse, and they'll say they do it really good. Meanwhile, I have someone like you who wants to talk about original ideas, and they'll say, "Oh, that's not how you debate."
Yeah, I got a lot of that too. It's like, I had people laughing at me because I said, "Oh yeah, I think these elections are rigged. I think these elections are bought and paid for. A lot of these people on these Democratic and Republican parties, they're both bought and paid for." You know what I mean? And I had people laughing at that. Oh, that's so stupid. You think the elections are bought and paid for? They're rigged? And even back, I was like, man, these people are fucking stupid. I mean, these people are fucking dumb. Do they not see it? I mean, do they not fucking see it? How it's all bought and paid for? I mean, these people are fucking dumb.
Everyone coming up when I was in school, and my mom and stuff, and people around me, they always said I had like evil lawyer superpowers, because like I can argue the fuck out of anybody.
Yeah.
And what right or wrong, and to the point where I think it was a mechanism to like get out of things, because it would shift them being mad at me about one thing, and then they'd instead just be mad at me about like I'm winning an argument all of a sudden. They'll take it anyway. But
Yeah.
I mean, I say I did, but even now, like when me and my girl do get into arguments, it's pretty rough for her. I'm
Well,
not
I
gonna
mean,
lie.
even when I got into the dating scene, when I started like in my when I started getting out there and I started learning this knowledge, and when I got out of high school, I was like, I was trying, I was trying to teach these, women the knowledge and shit. And they looked at me like I was insane, so I was like, come on, man, you serious? But yeah, I don't care. You know what I mean? I didn't care. Like during 2020, stuff like that. And I lost a lot of friends because I was saying that the whole COVID thing was fake, and the whole George Floyd thing was a psyop. It was a hoax. I had people just, I'm not friends with you no more, Rich. I think that's a pretty dumb opinion. Well, how can you have an opinion like that? Well, because it's obviously staged. Learn gematria. I was teaching them about the gematria, and they thought this number stuff is pretty dumb, man. And some of those people, Logan, some of those people were in my debate class. That's the sad part about it. Some of those people were in my debate class, and they were like, "Oh, this stuff is so stupid. Oh, coronavirus. What is coronavirus got to do with George Floyd?" And it's like, man, these people. And I thought about it for a minute, like, these are the same fucking retards who were laughing when I was saying 10 years ago or 5 years ago that the fucking elections were rigged. So yeah, and they're sitting there laughing. And I say, "Oh, numbers and rituals? Oh, so stupid." But yeah, and that's how you just said, these debate classes and whatnot. They're being used to have these people that would probably speak out, toe the line,
Yep.
of the authorities, parrot the authorities. I'm probably one of the only ones that probably was like, nah, I'm not with none of this authority stuff. And even as a child, I never liked authorities. I never liked authority figures. I never really cared for people trying to have authority over me. I didn't care. I didn't care for that type of stuff, man.
You want to know some funny thing? Something funny?
What's
I'm the
up?
exact same way, and I
Yeah.
rebelled against authority through my wit.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you
Same
know
way.
what's really fucked up? It's karma because my little girl is so brutal. And I now need to be the authority. And
Yeah.
it's so rough, dude. I'm getting cooked. And I'm just like,
Oh, I'm
ah,
sure. I'm
shit.
sure. Yeah. What's that saying that your children will always be worse than what you were?
That it's shaping up to be that. Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. But I've always been that way, man. I've always spoken out. So, yeah.
There's a level of pride, though. It's
Yeah.
almost like, it's better, as much as I want her to, view me as an authority as far as, what she needs to do for her life and things that can help,
Right.
her moving forward. It
Yeah.
is kind of like, at least, when I do have to put my foot down, she
Well, she
will listen
understands.
most of the time,
She
but
understands. Yeah.
yeah,
She understands. But it's just like with me, me growing up, I didn't care about authority. I didn't like authority. I didn't like him trying to tell me what to do, and
I think that's a good
I
thing.
I didn't like that. I didn't like, oh, these group of people have the right to tell you something because they're older than you. No bullshit. If they're talking bullshit, I should be able to have the right to say, hey, you know what, that's bullshit. I think what you're saying is a bunch of nonsense. But yeah, I've always had that
Yeah,
mindset,
we
and
live in a world where they push like respect as innate rather than like earned
yeah.
through like,
hmm I've always said that. I've always said that, Logan. That respect isn't just given; you have to earn respect. You can't be a dick to somebody and then expect them to be nice to you back. I mean, you just have to earn that level of respect. If you do that, then I respect. It's just like with me. If somebody's disrespectful to me, and then they want me to be respectful to them, it's like you haven't earned that yet. You haven't earned that respect for me to give you that kind of respect back. So what makes you think I'm going to respect you back? You hear what I mean?
yeah. And I also think it's a softening technique because most people would, will cower back and rather not have any kind of
Yep.
um,
Yep. That's exactly what it is. Yep.
interaction
Coward
with that
mentality.
when
Yeah.
in reality it's just like you're just giving up more and more of your autonomy and your
Your
personality and your
voice. Your
edge.
voice.
Yeah, your
Yeah. Your
voice. Yeah.
voice. Yeah. And that's what these authorities do all the time. They want to shut us down. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're doing it, and they do a good job of it, right? They shadow ban people with good information and get rid of them, and people who are putting out nonsense. Oh, put them right in the algorithm. Get that to everybody out there on on their phone and screen. They do a good job at that. And again, it starts when we're young, right? When we're kids, they want you, whenever you write an essay and all this type of stuff, they want you to quote, oh, you need to quote CNN. Oh, you need to quote Fox News and these authority things. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? I'm going to actually quote some real history. I'll never forget. I got in trouble for writing an essay because they wanted us to write an essay about Adolf Hitler and, Nazi Germany and all this. And I already knew that, the Catholic Church had their hands into it. Again, I didn't have the gematria piece, but I just knew that, okay, as the Catholic Church doing this stuff, he was financed and backed by the church. So I wrote about that, and it wasn't a long essay. It was a short essay. And I used that quote in there, and I got in trouble for it. And it's like, I was like, why did I get in trouble for it? I wrote something that was factually true. You can look it up on the internet. It's right there. The quote's there that, he modeled that Adolf Hitler modeled the Nazi Party after the Jesuits. And that's a historical fact. You can look it up. It's literally a quote. It's
I
on
got a
record.
bad grade in my what is either history class or what's that other one? Anyway,
Science.
no, it's like the other. They cover mostly like world history, but it has another name. It's not just world history. It was something else. Anyway,
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know the name.
But I actually had to cover Walt Disney.
Yeah.
And I think I know what they wanted me to write about, but I ended up writing about like I didn't know that he was. I went deep on like the orders that he was in. Of course, what is it? Of course, I'm blanking on it now when I want to bring it up.
Oh, I know. Yeah, was it the Templars or
it's a branch of the Templar.
Demolay.
Demolay, yeah, that he was Demolay, and
yeah,
the Masonic links and the links between Judaism and this and that, and I got a bad grade. I was like, but you didn't tell me to write about good things about Disneyland. You told me to write about Walt Disney.
Yeah,
I didn't even know his name until
it's just like with the Hitler thing. And speaking about Walt Disney, a lot of people speculate that Adolf Hitler was writing cartoons for Disney.
Might even be the inspiration behind Mickey Mouse and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I got in trouble, and you know what? Logan, you want to know what the reason was for the reason why I got a write up for that? I got a write up because my teacher was a Roman Catholic, and she didn't like what I said, and her bullshit argument to counter that was that I was being blasphemous. I was like, "Are you serious? I'm being blasphemous? I didn't even write anything about Jesus or anything. I just said the Jesuit order. That's all I said. I didn't say Society of Jesus."
Well, that's a weird word to get hit with in school. Blasphemous?
Yeah, blasphemous.
Did you go to a Catholic school?
Well, I mean, this one was Roman Catholic, but it's like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, and
no, but that's like separation of church and state, bro. True.
Exactly. I was saying the same thing. I was like, I was supposed to have the separation of church and state, and they teach you about that too in public school. But I mean, is it really? Because I mean, I wrote about the Roman Catholic. Well, I didn't even say Roman Catholic Church. I said the Jesuit order. I didn't say Catholic Church. I said Jesuit order. But she took that as me being blasphemous, and well, I got that. I didn't get a good grade on it. I actually got a C- on it, but still, that essay was well written. And what pissed me off, Logan, was I spent hours writing that essay and trying to make it sound great, and the fact that it was oh, you get a C because you said this one thing here that I didn't agree with. It's like, well, maybe you should look into that. Maybe you should look what I'm writing here. Maybe you should look at that. Maybe instead of dismissing it, maybe you should look into that. But here's another thing too. Is I think I had to be about 8th grade. And I remember every year on September 11th, every fucking year on September 11th, and I know they still do it in schools. Every year when September 11th falls, they got to show you they got to teach you, they got to stop what they're teaching you and show you about 9/11, right? And I'll never forget it. It was the one day my one teacher who I really liked a lot, he wasn't in, he was sick, he couldn't be in, so they had to get a substitute for us. And I'll never forget when when they were showing this and they were asking for what do you guys think about this and all this, and I I asked the question. I'm like, Emma, how can 2 steel buildings fall down in a perfect demolition form, like what happened on September 11th? How can that even be possible? How can 2 planes go into steel buildings and fall down just like a demolition? And I got in trouble for that. Don't ask them type of questions. But yeah, I mean that's what it is. They don't want people. They don't want people like me asking questions like that in classrooms. They want people just towing the line, towing the authority. Okay, yeah, 2 buildings or two planes hit the World Trade Center on that day. Yeah,
we're just. And a third building just fell because it got scared.
Yeah, yeah.
It saw the other buildings fall, and it was like, you know what, I'm going, dude.
Yeah, it's just like it's like that's the problem with school. That's why not gonna lie to you, Logan, I wasn't really a big fan of school. I didn't like school. I didn't care
Oh,
for
me
school.
neither.
I didn't like being in there. I didn't see the point of me wasting my fucking 8 hours in a classroom learning about jack shit when I could be, out here in the street or out here, learning something out here and learning something else and actually, learning to real world stuff and using my hands rather than fucking in a classroom learning about bullshit history that's 99% not even true.
Well put.
Like Christopher Columbus, a man who supposedly discovered a nation which there was already people living here. That doesn't even make any sense. Or Adolf Hitler supposedly killing himself, but his body was never found. And by the way, died at 56. And Adolf Hitler equals 56, like Society of Jesus. Not going to teach you that in any kind of history class.
And his name, Adolphus Hitler 201.
Yep, on his birth certificate. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nazi Germany
And
also.
it's one of those funny things too, because the only time I've ever heard anyone named Adolphus, they're a black guy. It's like, bro, why are you naming black kids
Well,
Adolphus?
young Dolph, he was a guy named
Yeah,
Adolf too, and that's like, even then, I'm like, Adolf hit a black man being named Adolf. I mean, that
it
just
just seems kind of weird. Like, why?
yeah,
Where am I? What am I missing? Is it like African? I'm not even trying. I'm not trying to be like any kind of. I'm
yeah,
not
you,
any kind
yeah,
of. I could care less. I'm inquiry. I'll inquire about it because I'm interested, but
right.
I
I
don't
just think it's
behold
weird.
myself to like
Yeah,
my
I thought that was
race or
weird.
anything like that, or like my name or anything like that. I don't. I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
I just thought that was weird. His name was Adolphus Thornton. It's like Adolf Hitler. That's the first thing I thought about when I seen young Dolph die or whatever, and I was like, okay, Adolf Hitler. I mean, that's something I can think of because it's like, and it's like, who the fuck names their kid Adolf, knowing that name Adolf is associated with Hitler?
Exactly. I mean, It's like you can't even have a certain mustache anymore. Is
Yeah.
that like?
Yep. Yeah. No,
Which,
you're
by the
right.
way,
You're
I'm
right.
right
Yeah.
or wrong. I'm just saying, like, these things that control us, the words we can and can't say, the things we can and can't do, the
Yeah.
looks we can and can't have,
Right.
we're cooked if we just keep just saying, like, it's one thing if your mom's telling you can't or something like that. It's
Yeah.
like another, why are we listening to these people?
Well, even if your mom does tell, I mean, even if somebody's mom tells, it's like, even
Yeah, it
if you
doesn't mean
tell
it's
your
right.
mom, like, hey, you know what? Maybe stop being a sheep, mom. But and I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to put my mom on blast. My mom's typical sheep, man. I'm sorry, but the one thing I'll
Right
give my
there with
mom
you.
credit. One thing I'll give my mom credit is she's not gonna back down from shit. She'll just if she's right on something and she feels she's right, she's gonna go. She's gonna keep on going on with it. She's gonna keep on standing up for that. And that's where I get my characteristics from. Like, if I see some bullshit going on, obviously I'm gonna speak on it because it's like, come on, man. I don't want to. If I don't want that to happen to me, I don't want to see it happen to somebody else. The only thing about my mom, though, she's not very intelligent. Just believes everything in the media and stuff like that. It's like, come on, mom. And I've tried to get my mom on board with this gematria stuff. I'm like, mom, put your head out of your ass, man. I'm like, mom, I told you years in advance that Donald Trump would be in the 60th, win the 60th election, and I told her years before it even happened. I told her, again, he's gonna be put in there. He's gonna be the next Grover Cleveland, and he's gonna go in at age 78 because in gematria Cleveland equals 78. And it's like, I'm like, mom, I told you this years in advance. How do you not get in this stuff? This is major league ritual right here. But the thinking aspect, I think I get that from more my dad. My dad was one of these people that like to ask questions, and that's where I get that from. I get my smarts from him. But my temper and all that, I get that more or less from my mom. But
Naturally.
mom and dad. But the smarts part, I get it from my dad. He was a very questioning person, always questioning things. The only thing me and him disagreed on is he thought the games were real, the sports games, and he thought gematria wasn't anything to be looking into. I'm like, Dad, come on, man. You gotta. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this stuff is elementary, pops. I mean, this stuff's going on all the time, from COVID to 9/11. Yep, yep, yep.
Well, we will wish Sebastian a happy sleep. And this is him. This is his camera just turned back on. And
Yeah, maybe his connection maybe what it might have went out. Not sure what happened
very,
to Sebastian,
very
but
possible. But yeah, definitely a great time.
yep.
Thank you for joining me again. Hopefully we'll have Austin back next week. I didn't want to get like too far into it because I don't know how much he'll want to share if he'll just share next week. But yeah, he's had a lot rougher week this week than last. It actually some worse stuff that wasn't even
planned. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we might hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Hopefully this Sunday.
Yep.
We'll be able to talk to him and he'll be back. And yeah, everybody, let him know you miss him in the comments or whatever you want to say. Let him know you're glad he's gone too. I'm just kidding. Kidding. I doubt there'll be many comments saying that, but yeah, appreciate having you on. You being here and sharing as much as you did. I do have your blog spot up there. There is obviously, of course, all these things will be in the description of the video, so please do check it out if you haven't already, if somehow you haven't already. But his YouTube channel as well will be linked in the description, the one right below there. And yeah, let King Richard know that he, what you think of him in the comments too. It's kind of it helps to have like a, what's the word, like a collaborational kind of community that so yeah, let him know about what you think about the episodes and give him a thumbs up. Go check out his videos, check out his website. Very easy to follow. We went over 2 or 3 and you could easily get lost in just going down his list, or obviously the search function. If you're curious about something, I'm sure he's probably covered it if it was.
Yeah, I pretty much covered everything in the headlines. If it's in the headlines, I pretty much covered it. So
exactly. So yeah, and thank you to Sebastian as well. Thanks for being here for a double header episode with you guys. I got a pretty banger thumbnail in waiting. It's another Lord of the Rings themed one, but it's pretty good. But yeah, I will. Yeah, I hope to talk to you soon, and I'll be checking you out in your videos and everything. Hope you guys all do as well. And until next week, guys, have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you then. Later.
Alrighty, peace.